are back. The time is now.
NUFC Early Night News with Gary the Geordie Yam Yam, Andrew Boki, and Derek the Mighty Wind. Weekdays from 7:30 p.m. UK, 1:30 p.m. USA.
NUFC Talk.
Welcome to NUFC Talk, live here in the end. Like I say, lots to talk about. Not a lot about the presser, because like I say, there was very little. I joined Win early on in the build up to the presser. Then I had to go and pick the kids up, and then I rushed back. And by the time I'd got back from doing a little bit of shopping, it finished, and I'm like, "What? What? You're supposed to be on for a bit longer than that, sir." Well, anyway, we'll crack on with tonight's show. We'll give you bits and pieces that we've got, and we'll take it from there. But apart from that, let's get on with the housework. Welcome to everybody that's across all of the platforms that are watching us tonight. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone that works in the background, doing an amazing job as always. Always gets us out the mire when we need you. Don't forget to hit that like button out there in viewer land. It certainly helps us get further as a channel to other supporters. Subscribe, totally free. Hit the bell for future content. Like I say, you'll get that 30 minutes warning to say we're going live. Always live, never edited. So what you hear is what comes out of our mouths. May not always be right, but we do our best. If you want to support us, you can become a member. It's a small monthly fee. That's if you can afford to do so. It certainly would help us, again, bring you more content, try and get more people involved throughout the week. If you've got a question for any of us in the panel, then put a Q in front of that question. It ain't guaranteed, though, guys, because obviously we do our best to bring you lots of content. So if you do want to guarantee it, and I emphasise do, throw us a super chat by using the $, follow the instructions, and that'll certainly guarantee that message read out. And anybody that becomes a member during the show, or any of our beautiful members out there in viewerland, decide to gift them, I can't even get my teeth in, we will also highlight you as well. So thank you one and all for joining us this Monday night, the eve of the Champions League.
League.
But to be fair, I think we probably should start with a few issues from Saturday evening. And there's certainly lots of social media talk that's going on at this present moment in time. After the game, there was a little bit of a debacle, if you like, a little bit of a to-in and fro-in between certain players. J7 was escorted off the field of play by a couple of likely lads. Obviously didn't want to get him involved anymore. And it looked obviously very much as though Pep Guardiola had a bit of a session with the cameraman, and then obviously went over to Bruno and spoke to Bruno at length. And there's been quite a bit made of all of the stories, if I'm honest with you. What's been your understanding of what's gone on? Do you agree with the way Pep's allowed to do this, or do you think that, are we putting Pep on a pedestal because of what he's achieved? And he's, listen, he's a great manager. I'm not gonna knock what he's achieved or anything else. But do you think we give him too much rope to do things like this? Because if it was my players, I wouldn't want him anywhere near my players. If he's going there to give them a handshake and an arm, around the back type of thing, giving him a cuddle and saying well done, fair play. But actually having a deep and meaningful, and we've not seen him just do it with Newcastle players. We've seen him do it with a lot more opposition players. We've even seen him do it to his own players, which is fine. Them are his players. But I was a little bit, when I watched it back, and I watched it over and over again, Jason Tindall comes towards him, and it's as if he's got a right to speak to Newcastle players. So when Pep talks to Bruno, it's like, okay, I'm going to leave you to it. I'm not going to get involved with that. And I'm like, wow, this is incredible. I'm going to play the video, and for everybody who's listening rather than watching, this video is literally just while the lads are talking. It's just showing you the build-up and everything else during that time where Pep is isolating Bruno, if you want, to have a chat with. So, Wyn, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, it obviously depends on what he's saying.
In that second half.
Yeah, go on.
Is he talking there about something that's happened in the game?
Well, exactly. Exactly.
And
is he tapping him up?
If he is, or is he tapping him up? But you know, I'm sure Bruno's a big lad. He doesn't like what he's saying there.
No. He's certainly having to go back. I mean, obviously, you get Tonali. I don't mind that look. You see, Tonali and him having a cuddle.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all. But what I couldn't understand, I mean, don't forget, Bruno, you can see
Bruno, where he goes and gives it big licks.
Absolutely. He pumps the crowd up, doesn't he, massively. But, look, there's Jason Tindall, comes up to him, and it's like, I want a word, and he walks away. It's like, these are my players. And I'm like, what are you doing, lad? It just seems as though we are expectant now of Pep Guardiola to do as he pleases. And like I say, what he did with the cameraman, I'm sorry, but that I thought was disgusting. The cameraman's there to do a job, the same as he's there to do a job. And then when he picks the headphone up off the cameraman, because he was in his face, you know what I mean, and shouts in his ear hole. But I mean, that's what he's there to do. He's there to obviously view the events going on the field of play.
And maybe record what he's saying.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you very rarely, because Sky Sports are very quick at putting the wrong stuff on or nullifying the sound. I mean, I remember what they did with us. Remember when they were putting the chants on that actually wasn't sung at the ground? It was quite funny. What's your thoughts, Andy?
I think it shows a lack of class on his side, but I think you've got to say that all top class, all elite managers over the years have had a little bit of that about them.
The Fergies of the day.
Yeah, the Fergies, the Clotts, people like that, they've all got that little edge that, and I think you've maybe got to have that to be an elite manager. So I think if it never looks great, and it doesn't look great after the game. I guess he's the one, what you would say, just bad loser. But again, that's probably what sets him over the edge of being a world-class manager, because he can't stand losing. So as a fan looking in at him, you think, oh, what a joke. But then you think to yourself, well, actually, he's showing passion for the team and stuff. And I know he did apologise the day in his press conference as well.
Yes, absolutely. And you've got to give him credit for that. And he also showed, what he's there to do. He said, I will back my team 100%, all my players. And like I said, if he was doing that to the players, his own players, I have no issue with that. If you want to go out there and frog march them in front of your own fans and oil them out, independently, that's absolutely fine. I just think, when you're messing about with another coach's players, I've just shown on the screen there, obviously the little coming together of the camera, and you are absolutely right, Andy. He does apologise for that, and he says, after 1,000 games, I still make mistakes, and like I say, passion is running high, and for that I do praise him, and that's what I said. I just don't praise or the actual actions that he does, and like I say, for me, I was listening to the 90s mags yesterday, and it very much seems like D-Man's a secret Man City fan, because he puts him on a massive pedestal. I mean, listen, like I say, you can't take away what he's done for the game. I mean, when you look at what he's won, percentiles regarding, I think I've got it here. Well, there you go. I'll put it up on the screen. It's second to none, isn't it? And you look at where he is. 72% win ratio. The next one is Jose Mourinho with 62%, then Ancelotti with 60%, and then Sir Alex with 58%. So, there's some big names up on there. So, like I say, he does sit high on that mantle. But again, I think we've just got to be careful that we don't give him far too much rope type of thing, where he actually takes precedence over the actual match, because that's what I feel this has done.
just on that, lads, do you ever remember like a manager that's been, as I say, in that elite league that hasn't had a bit of edge to them?
No. Do you think that's what Eddie Howe's missing?
I didn't mention Eddie Howe. I was trying to be.
I'm just saying, though, but do you think that
Yeah,
would
I
that
do.
give Eddie Howe that
I've said it before. If you watch Eddie Howe when he's even in that match when he's celebrating goals and stuff, he never just lets himself go, and yay, it's all sort of.
Yeah, but hang on. Is that not because Eddie Howe doesn't put himself in that bracket yet?
But that's not about the bracket win. That's about personality. He's just not that sort of personality.
I mean, what I would say about Pep's record there. So looking at that, you're going to say Pep's a better manager than Fergie. Fergie did it in the Prem, and that's an awful lot. He's above Arsene Wenger there as well.
Yeah,
they did it in the Prem. He's done it with the top team in a Farmers League and the top team in the Bundesliga is not a Farmers League, but Bayern are just
Oh, come on!
streets ahead of everybody.
You can't. I mean, we can.
I'm not disputing he's an elite manager. Of course, his record tells you that he's an elite manager. But all I'm saying is to do it at stellar clubs with unlimited budgets virtually is completely different to doing it, on the up and up, as it were.
But which manager's ever done that win?
But
I'm saying in the modern era now, who does that now?
you see, I mean, you got to think Ferguson did it with Aberdeen, didn't he? He won something with Aberdeen with pennies, and that's what I said.
Yeah.
And it comes to something now, doesn't it? And again, I don't want to put people in the same bracket, but how close was Alex Ferguson to getting the sack before he went on that major run? And
2 minutes.
And I think that's what I said. Somebody says it was Sharky's goal against Barcelona that saved his bacon, but again, I can't remember the exact. Well,
I think it was the Palace game actually that saved his bacon when he got through the cup final. But Aaron saying, I don't understand why a manager would talk to other teams' players after the game. I think it's bizarre behaviour, to be honest.
Well, like I say, he's he's the only one that I ever see do it, if I'm honest with you. And like I say, he seems to earmark certain individuals. And obviously, you're probably talking in Spanish to Bruno. But Tony Cascarino actually dislikes it. And he had his voice and opinion over on Talk Sport. And this is what Tony Cascarino had to say.
I'll start with what I don't like, and I don't know how he gets away with this, Pep. But he's done this before. Going up to an opposition's player and cuddling him, Ramirez, and chatting to him and talking to him, I'm thinking, he's not your player. He's not your player to go around and put your arm. You can have a few words with maybe some tackles he made or, because Ramirez was the best player on the pitch yesterday, okay? Played really well. And I talked about tenacious players, Liverpool. Newcastle did exactly that. They got in their faces. They made it as hard as they could for City. But Pep doesn't have a divine right to go up to opposition's players. Imagine if Eddie Howe would go up to a City player, cuddle him, and then start giving him instructions, telling him what he's doing. He shouldn't be doing that. He's done that. He done it with Nathan Redmond at Southampton, many moons ago. And I used to think, he's not your player. Why would you lecture an opposition's player? Now, I get it if you was to say, your tackle, this, what you're doing is dangerous. But he wasn't. He was pointing, directing, and I thought, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. You don't have the right as a manager to go and keep going up to, and he's done it more than one occasion. He's done it a few times where he talks to the opposition's players who are, Eddie Howe's players, not yours. I just don't get it. Eddie Howe's not doing that around the City players. He might shake their hands and good game or whatever and no more. But I don't see any other manager doing that. Is it me, Shaban?
No. I think you're right. And I think if any other manager did do it, they wouldn't get away with it.
No.
That's for sure. They would be called out. And I think it's similar to him not being really called out enough over his approach towards the cameraman last night. To put your hands on somebody's head and take off their headphones to chuck it at them when he's holding... I think it's called a jib camera, isn't it? Where they're holding it in front of him, it's strapped to his body. I kind of think, Pep, go and sit down. Like,
he's doing
his
things
job.
that are,
Don't abuse your power. You know, I think approach someone like that, he's just trying to go about his business and do his work. And, you know, you're getting up in his face, leave it out.
Well, normally managers would get frustrated at your team's performance. You get in the dressing room and you let it out on them. You call them out from what they didn't do. I'll start with...
There you go. And like I say, I think, you know, he speaks a lot of sense, to be fair. I mean, it makes me laugh when he calls us shebang. Is he not Siobhan? And he just can't say it. It does make me laugh when I watch him say that. Shebang! I think I'm sure it's Siobhan.
Gary, after a couple of seconds of that happening, should one of our coaching staff not have went up and sort of intervened between them and got Bruno away from the situation?
Well, I think that is what made me annoyed more than anything else, because you saw Jason Tyndall. We call him Mad Dog. He was lovely puppy there, wasn't he?
Yeah. But I mean, it had only just stopped. To be fair to Jason Tyndall, it had only just started when he got there. So
yeah, but he said, "I want to." You actually saw Pep Guardiola say, "I want to talk to him," and he walks away.
Right. So,
you know
which case, as I say, why didn't one of our coaching staff just go across and say, "Oh, you're not speaking to our players like that," and get them away from the situation?
Mate, I totally agree with you. I just thought it was an absolute calamity. I really did. I thought there was, it showed, well, like I say, it showed a lack of, for me, a lot of support from my coaches towards the individual player. And I'm not saying that they aren't there to handle themselves, because I'm sure they can. The thing is, you know, you don't want it to get the likes of J7, where J7 was so close to snotting somebody. You want to quieten it down. You want to get all of that anxiety, animosity, tension away from the situation and go and appreciate the crowd. I mean, obviously, J7, I think whatever happened to J7, I didn't even think he walked around the ground to applaud the fans, because he was hushed off the ground so quickly. And I just think it was, like I say, it was really, really not done in good taste. I'm not going to say it was poor spirit. But it wasn't done in great
Adrian Pickett is saying, I don't remember this personally, but he's saying Howe and Tyndall did exactly that with Declan Rice, to be fair. After the Arsenal game.
They did, but I think it was Declan Rice who started obviously the slagging match between them, because they were having a bit of a go on the side, and Declan Rice purposely went over to Eddie Howe, and I'm sure it was in social media. It was somewhere in the words of somebody had lip read and said that Declan Rice was saying you need to sort your players out or something. And then obviously there was toing and froing. But again, he too instigates it. You know, Bruno didn't instigate that with Pep. And like I said, you know, it's not the first team that Pep Guardiola has done that. And like I say, you know, sometimes it shines a little bit of a different light over your illustrious career. When you have actually been probably the best coach to ever walk the planet. That's something that I don't like to see. And obviously, while we're on the Man City game, there's been a lot of contentious situations and a little bit of disgruntlement against Man City fans, because of obviously things that they've seen, they don't agree with. And if I'm honest with you, I do understand that. I understand that there's always going to be a different opinion, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to say. It's a difference of opinion when it comes to it, and I'm going to try and make this so you guys can see it a little bit better on the screen, because obviously this is where it all goes a little bit long, and it's probably made my lines a bit wobbly, but we'll go with that. This is obviously the offside rule, and this is where it comes to a little bit of I suppose, if you like, was it or wasn't it? Now, on the field of play, when me and Chris were doing the watch along, I said straight away, he's offside. And Chris was saying, well, is he? And I said, well, you look where his foot is, and if you look at the letter of the law, he's offside. And I must admit, I was a little bit aghast. But I mean, you can look at this one here and you can see exactly what I mean, because they have used his sleeve of his shirt. And I think this is where Man City fans are actually in a little bit of a bit of a quandary, if you like, because the rules say your arm, any part of your arm, does not count for offsides. Any part of your arm, nothing to do with your feet or any other body part. It's your arm, and the line is drawn from the bottom part of the armpit. That is the actual rule, and I've actually got it on the next slide. So there you go. There's a slide. So the IFAB rule: the hands and arms of all players, including goalkeepers, are not considered for the purpose of determining offside. The upper boundary of the arm is in line with the bottom of the armpit. So if you look at this line here, it's actually drawn from his sleeve shirt. So I can actually understand where...
Yeah, but I thought it was his hip.
Well, no, the line is actually going up. If you look, there's a gap between his hip and... See that little gap there? You can see it just in between. If it was up against it, I would say yes. Because
surely when they actually showed that, you know, when they show you that kind of wall with a bit sticking through, it was the hip that was sticking through.
No, it was actually the shoulder. When the ring appeared on the screen, it was the shoulder that they were highlighting. Nothing to do with the hip. Because that's what I thought. I sat here and I drew an imaginary line. I drew a line from his armpit down, and it does bypass the hip, right? So the hip is out of that line. But that's still, I mean, when I look at this, and I can understand the Man City fans' frustration when they see this because of the rulings that's out there now. And the ruling does state exactly that, the IFAB ruling. And then the top of the line goes to the arm, the sleeve of the arm, which if the ball comes off your arm, and we've had, decisions go for us in the past, if you remember when the ball came off the upper part and they called it handball, even though if you look at the letter of the law, the shirt sleeve now is deemed a place that you can utilise to actually score a goal from now. That's everywhere. So I was a little bit, when I looked at this on the screen, I thought, you know what, that's contentious. I need to have a look back to see if there's any...
That's not about the fact that it's contentious.
Any rule change, because I looked at that and I thought, wow, that's running off the sleeve, which means you can score off the sleeve because they use the sleeve shirt as, is it handball or not? And somebody put in the chat earlier on about, we talk about VAR making mistakes. I mean, you've only got to look at the one for Forest against Liverpool. They should have had a goal before they actually scored when they classed it as handball. It was never handball. That, again, come up off the upper part of his body. But, again, because the referee, and this is where it's wrong, and I'd love to hear what you guys think in the chat, because I think this is where VAR gets it wrong, because they don't ever change the on-field decision. Even if the referee has got it wrong, right? Because the only person that seemed to get it right was the guy sat in VAR. As in, it's my decision. I can't make a decisive view of where the ball contacted your arm. As in, here, there's no conclusive evidence, so I'm going to go with the on-field decision. So, for me, if the referee is behind the play, so he's looking directly at the player's back, how can he blow it? He'll be asking VAR for conclusive evidence, and they couldn't come up with it. So what is the point of VAR?
Well, apart from anything else now, they are calling offsides factual decisions now. Yeah. Because it's
all automated.
I mean, they're saying semi-automated, but it's effectively automated.
Yeah.
So that becomes a factual decision, not an arbitrary decision.
Yeah, exactly. I thought, to be fair, it would have taken a lot quicker to get sorted.
And the other thing about that is, what do they call the arm? Is the shoulder the arm?
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? And
a bit since when they had the template of the shirt.
Yeah.
It can't be the shoulder, because didn't someone score from the shoulder the other week? I can't remember who it was.
Yeah,
Valtemada scored from his shoulder. With this, would it not be easier if they just went back to one of the older rules where it's clear daylight between players?
The thing is, that's never been a rule.
It's never been a rule.
It should have
So-
been, but it's never been.
Well, bring that one in. Just take out all the body parts
That's
and everything.
exactly daylight.
A daylight between them. And it'll probably mean there'll be more goals in games.
A
because
lot more goals.
A lot
Well,
more
yeah,
goals, and it'll probably
exactly.
make the game more exciting.
So
Well,
Absolutely.
this is what come from the VAR itself, right? So this is direct from the VAR, and as you can see, once I press play, what it shows as being offside. So I'll press play, and there you go. So they're not looking at the armpit because they're clearly showing you the sleeve there, and that's what I said. If you'd gone to the armpit, yeah, there you go. If you'd gone to the armpit, he's offside. If you'd gone to the hip, he's offside. So I think that's contentious.
This is exactly the shot I'm on about, and I think that's.
Look at yeah, but did you see the gap in between the hip?
Yeah,
and the line?
but the circles are emanating from the shoulder.
They are. But if you draw the line up, which is exactly where that line goes to, look, there you go, and you can see the lines actually on the other on this slide coming up now when it goes directly.
So
parallel.
Bruno's foot is behind
You can see
that
the
line.
lines there. Look, so they're still going on the shirt sleeve with.
No,
which is-
they're showing the shirt sleeve as they're showing that his arm is in an offside position, but I think they're showing the sleeve, the shoulder there, the armpit, if you like. Those rings are emanating from the armpit.
Yeah, round. Okay. But if you look closely, you probably can't see it on the screen that you've got, but the screen that I've got in front of me, you can actually see where you can see those rings emanating from the shoulder, as you've just said. You can actually see it just in the background when they put the side on view, so you can look at a parallel line.
But lads, this isn't as well not what's ruining football. And
Yes, that's that was my point.
In regards to you're looking for the minutest sort of like millimeter and things. It just seems a bit, sort of. Football has to be natural, and this circle's popping out of somebody's shoulder, and somebody standing on a line just is taking away the excitement because you can't even fully celebrate a goal.
Well, it's kind of adding
was
to the
4 minutes
excitement.
after.
You get to celebrate twice.
You do, that's what I suppose. But as I say, it just seems really finicky for that in that sort of situation. Sure enough, the rule should be the benefit of doubt goes to the attacking team.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think a lot of benefit goes to the defensive team anyway. When you look at in and around the goal, So for me, it was nice for something to go our way for a change, and I think
it did with the penalty decision as well.
And I'm going to say it wasn't the first one that went our way during that match. I must admit, it seemed as though Lady Luck was definitely on our sides. When you look how poor the City finishing was. It was as if they'd left their boots in the locker room, which was great
Well,
for us.
Foden especially.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, the two major decisions. One goal up for them could have changed the whole outlook because that was before, obviously, we'd scored our first goal. So, if that would have, and again, the ruling was crazy.
Could not understand it at all.
Minimum contact, they say.
And it was stood shown on the instep way after the ball had gone. Okay, he had hit the shot wide, but that's just like getting tackled after you've made a pass on the field of play. It's still a foul, and if it's deemed so, it would have been a red card.
Yeah. It is crazy.
I
'cause
make
like I say,
no excuse for saying we got out of jail with that one.
no.
I mean, if I was Pep, I'd be more fuming about that one than I would the Bruno offside.
Well, there was
a miles bigger decision not to give the. I know we scored from the other decision, which sounds a bit daft, but I think not giving that penalty was the miles bigger decision in the game.
Yeah. I agree. I think, like I say, there was a couple of.
It would have been a total, like I keep on saying, when we have been robbed of similar situations, had the difference between going ahead and going behind and having to, they say where it happens in the game and when it happens in the game are irrelevant, but of course they're very relevant because if that had been City 1-up, it could have been a totally different game.
Yeah,
Incidentally, Mark Debates is just putting us both right, Gary.
go on then.
because you said Barcelona, I said Crystal Palace, the games that saved Sir Alec. And he's absolutely right. It was Forest. It was Mark Robbins against Forest in the FA Cup.
I thought it was Sparky because don't forget. I mean, Fergie was on the fence for a period of time, wasn't he? He wasn't just one game. He had several games where he'd got to turn it round for, and that was just when the
I think it was that cup. I thought it was against Palace. That was the only thing. I knew it was Robbins, but I thought it was Palace.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, but that's how close.
I've just checked it up anyway. 7th of January 1990.
Yeah, I guess I know it was 90.
They've got a lot to answer. That Mark Robbins has got a lot to answer for.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, no. I mean, I must admit, I've watched the games, highlights mainly, but I've watched the game again because, again, when you're doing the commentary, as much as I love it, and I do love it, I'm getting more into it now than I've ever been. And it's great for my brain, if I'm honest with you, because I have to remember things that I never. When I was watching a game before, I could watch it again literally after the 90 minutes, and it was like watching it for the first time over again. And like I say, for me, doing this not only supports my mental health, if you like, but it also allows me to enjoy football again, because like I say, I'm starting to remember things which I hadn't remembered for a very long time. So I want to thank everybody for being on my side, if you like, because like I say, without you guys out there and your support, I could quite easily go and just sit myself in the corner of the room like I did for the last 20 years and just forget the world ever existed, if I'm honest with you. Just keep smiling and get on with it. So, like I say, I do want to thank you all for your support. Like I say, if I get something wrong, I am not doing it on purpose. It is just me. So bear with. Like I say, for me, the biggest thing that I loved, having watched the game again, and I wondered what was going on. I really did wonder what was happening in and around the box. Especially because they looked like there was a little bit of naughtiness, a little bit of grit. We were starting to show a little bit of teeth, which is something we haven't seen for a very long time at Newcastle. And that was Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes' role in and around the goalkeeper was obviously to give him a little bit of a shoulder, take him off balance a couple of times. And if you remember when Toon Army nearly scored directly from the corner, that was all from Harvey Barnes. And a little bit of housery going on that I want to see back at Newcastle. I don't want teams to turn up at Newcastle and think it's going to be an easy day. I want to see that. And like I say, watching it back, I loved every minute of it. And that's why when we scored, you'd got Donnarumma going and chasing after the keeper and screaming at him. And we're all going, yeah, what are you doing? And like I say, when you're celebrating, you're jumping up in the air and doing all the you miss all the bits and pieces to it. I mean, is it something that you guys are happy to see back at St James's Park?
Oh, more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. Bring back the dark arts. I've been saying that for a while as well.
The other good thing was as well were missed chances. I know it's a stupid thing to say, but
no.
Barnes had a couple of good chances. Voldemort had a couple of good chances. And the fact that the point I wanted to bring up was with Voldemort, it is good that he had chances and missed. I know, again, it sounds strange, but at least he was getting the chances. So
exactly what you mean there, Boogie.
You'd rather a striker is getting in there and missing rather than just being there and passing the ball out. It was miles better up front, and maybe that's the way we need to go. And I think there was a noticeable change from what Eddie did with the team. He did push the wingers in a lot more. Murphy sometimes went a bit more on the outside, but he did push them in quite tight. It seemed to really help Voltmar's game. And obviously, Barnes scoring 2 proves it helps the wingers' game as well. So I think it was a slight tactical change, but one that was noticeable.
Yeah. I totally agree. I was again, me and Chris was looking at each other, obviously down. We had eyes locked in the screen because we were a bit, what's going on here? You've got obviously Tonali coming out of his favoured 6 deep role. Even though if you listen to Eddie, we don't play with a 6, we don't play with an 8, we don't play with a 10. because we've got fluidity within the squad. I just think it was nice to see that fluidity, if I'm honest with you. I thought the tactical changes, and that's why I said to win just before the start of the presser. And I'm going to aim this one at you, matey, Andy, because like I say, I know you're on that other side of the fence, right? When we get it right, like we did against Man City, we praise the fans. When we get it wrong, we blame Eddie. Why is there no middle ground? Why is there no common ground within supporters when it goes one way? It's the players that have done the right job, but when it goes the bad way, the players are forgotten because they're the ones kicking the ball, and we blame Eddie.
I think the easiest answer is because we're a fickle bunch.
I love that.
But I think part of it is that if you're watching a game and you see the players play well, you automatically say, oh, that was a great game by him, great bad game. You don't necessarily think of the manager. When you see a game and we're playing poorly and we're absolutely awful, you don't tend to blame individual players all the time. You tend to sort of go...
It's just easier, isn't it, to point a finger?
Whose fault is it? Well, the manager put them out there, so it's his fault. So,
Find a scapegoat.
Yeah, basically. A little bit.
I mean, what I was saying this afternoon, I don't know if you caught it, Borky, was that game we could quite easily have played exactly the way we played. Exactly the way we played. Really well, in my opinion. And lost the game. And had we lost the game, nobody would have been saying how well we'd played.
But can I ask you a quick question, Wendy? Do you think that game actually proves anything around this season? Because we
need two fullbacks.
We know we're good at home, and we know we can step up to the big matches. We've always been able to do that under Eddie. I think the litmus test now is, and I know you're going to say it's the Champions League, but in regards to it, I think the big litmus test is now the Everton game, and if we go there and if we could put in the same sort of performance, and you've mentioned Bruno, he was brilliant on that game, but sometimes he does disappear from games. I think it needs to be that it's more constant, continuous and constant with him. And with the game itself, I think in regards to the Everton game, that's the one that's going to prove the point. If we go there and we're the same sort of way and win, or if we go there and it's not the same and we don't win, I think that's
So let's. Do you think it's wise, bearing in mind they're both coming back from serious injuries, for Tino and Lewis Hall to play 3 games in a week?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. Right. So, you are prioritising the Everton game.
Yep, 100%.
So you would play them, you would rest them tomorrow night and play them on Wednesday, on Saturday, Sunday, Saturday. 5:30 kick-off Saturday. We'll be here. So obviously tomorrow we'll then be back to playing without those 2 fullbacks. So inevitably, in my opinion, there's going to be a drop-off.
Yeah, 100%.
Forget about which game you prioritise. There's going to be a drop-off.
100% with them too, because they're both English international fullbacks. So yeah, 100%.
Right. So they don't play tomorrow. We end up playing the same poor football that we've played the rest of the season. Let's be honest. And that's Eddie's fault.
Well, no, in regards to that, I mean, to be fair, I'll revert back. Well, exactly. I was just going to say that I'll revert back to what you said at the start of the season. Best squad ever.
Yeah.
If we can't accommodate 2 players not being able to play, then that's not.
It just happens that those 2 players are absolutely key to the way we play.
But they are. But then Toon Army's key to the way we play. Bruno's key to the way we. If you every player's key to the way we play. If you put it into that sort of context, what I'm saying is, if we've got a great squad now, we have to use it. And as you say, these two lads are coming back. They can't play 3 games in a week, no chance. So you do prioritise, and to me, you would prioritise the Everton game. Remember, we're on 9 points in the Champions League now. If we get another 2 points, we're through.
If we get another 2 wins,
Yeah,
we're in the top 8.
Yeah.
Well, we are, but
and that saves you games, doesn't it?
And
Then
that
you ain't in
saves
the
you 2
playoffs.
games.
So
But
that's
then-
got to be important.
yeah, but then you're saying that we can't win games without them 2 players.
And we also get lesser
ridiculous.
opponents, by the way.
But no, that's a ridiculous statement. We can't win games without them 2 players. Is what you're basically saying.
No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is it's going to be a damn sight harder without them 2, as it has been all season, as we've found, than it is with them.
But you've got to rotate, Win. You've got to. What would you do? Play them 2 against these guys and leave them out for Everton?
Well, I think
I would start them against these guys, and I'd start them against Everton probably.
Too much, Win. It's too much.
You've got every chance of burnout. You saw, like I say, for me, we talk about making a change, making something work. Now, obviously, we know Kraft's in this squad to face Marseille. We know Burns there. For me, against a team like Marseille, I'd probably contemplate going maybe a 3-4-3, and just having Murphy, who can play in that wing back role, but not as a wing back, just fall into that slot when you need to. My problem area is, who do you play on the left hand side? Because once you start going off, crikey, they're fighting on the field of play at the minute. We've got 14 minutes gone, and there's already a red card at the Manchester United Everton game. They've had one player off injured, and it's all going wrong. I think they're fighting their own players. I think, yeah. So they're down to 10 players now. Everton, Moyes not happy. So it's not looking great.
After
for them.
15 minutes.
10. Well,
Oh,
well,
10.
yeah, because I think it's took 4 minutes to get it sorted.
That's a bonus for that team. Whoever's sent off suspended now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's certainly weakened a weaker team. I mean, for me, we've heard Eddie Howe, and we're going to come on to potential teams in the second part of tonight's show, if you like. I just want to try and put an end to what we did in Man City. So before we come on to potentials, what was your thoughts on this? I'm going to put it up on the screen now. And again, for people that are listening rather than watching, this is right at the end of the game. And what you get is Bruno, like more or less fist pump, slap hands with a referee. And there's been a lot of, let's put it this way, a lot of people that support City are now saying, have you paid the ref? Can you believe that? I mean, is that just sucking, sour grapes or what? This is what happens. So you can see him, he's pumped up. He puts his hand up, he thanks the referee, then he goes over and celebrates with his mates, and everything else. And he's really pumped up, you can see that. But a lot of the City fans that actually were watching this have all put down this gesture towards the referees, more like a thank you, ref, for giving us the 3 points. I must admit, I thought, like I say, yeah, it's a bit of sour grapes, and it was a bit of laugh. So yeah, let's get on to some of the chat, Win. Like I say, we can put Man City to bed, and we'll move swiftly over to the Marseille game tomorrow night. So let's have a look what's in the chat, mate.
So let's see. Was it not the Forest game? Indeed it was. Nice to see young Abadi joining the squad.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
Marseille.
I like him. 16-year-old kid. I think he's got a lot of potential. Like I said, we need to look at more of the under-18s than the 21s, guys. Have faith in the academy.
Yeah, but Eddie's got to use his squad and exploit the players who are champing at the bit for a game.
100%.
as long as they can do it when they come in. That's the big problem, isn't it? Kenny W. wasn't happy. Match of the day picked up on every issue, our game. 2 pens and the Bruno goal, yet no one mentioned the Forest disallowed goal, where only the guy on VAR saw the handball and no one else.
Yeah.
What I would say with that is just let them crack on. We'll win the game.
And Marco's saying, watching Bruno's actions, my respect for him has risen. You can tell he loves the club, the city, and the people. Paul Morris is saying, elite or class. They're all judged on their last action. But say sorry, it's okay. No, I don't think so. That's regards to Pep, obviously.
Pep, yeah, and his actions.
How Tinder did that with Declan. We've already said that one. Shoulder provides the breadth, the arm just hangs. That's in the thing. And Bruno is leaning back.
Yeah.
His left leg was in, his right leg was out, in, out, shake it all about.
That's what I like to hear.
But it was that's a point actually that Kenny's saying there. That VAR, it was 3 incidents that they looked at, not just the offside.
Yeah, it was.
It was the original.
Barnes' offside.
It was whether the very first passage of play was offside.
Yeah.
Then, so he was, but was nowhere near interfering with play. And then it was the alleged push on Donnarumma. Huge support. You've done that one, haven't you? Tony T is saying, as backward as it sounds, you want to leave it later in a game versus Man City. Gives them less time to regroup. If we scored an early goal, I think they come out second half and win. Well, it's an argument, I suppose. Steely is saying, partly because he was forced into Burn, not playing. Let's see what happens tomorrow and see if he can get the same performance.
Just on the back of that one win, can I bring up a stat that I know you like your stats a little bit.
Oh yeah, 100% win record without Burn. Fantastic, isn't it?
Without Burn. People were saying he's only played one game, missed one game. He hasn't.
No, he's missed 2, hasn't he?
Missed 2.
Yeah,
100% win rate without him.
It is.
Yeah. Just proves that the depth of that squad, mate.
Yeah, that's it.
Eddie acknowledged the boost the SJP crowd gives to performances. The crucial factor is motivating for non-glamorous away ties.
100%.
Just signed in and can see a traitor amongst the panel. That sells us. I wonder who he's referring to.
I don't know.
Paul Morris saying we had the measure of Liverpool. We played amazing that game and very unlucky. That's what we're saying. Brilliant against City, but if we played the same, but if we lost, everybody would say we were poor.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm honest with you, I mean, I look at, I give everything. Like I say, it's sometimes as a fan, and that's, I suppose you can call me the bore because I always sit on the fence. I'm Eddie Howe. I never get too high on wins. I never get too low on defeats. I try and keep myself in the middle because there's always a reason. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go your way or whatever. And when we lose, I mean, as Balky's more or less said, you're always forcing yourself to blame something, And like I say, sometimes lady luck just isn't with you, and you do need an element of lady luck in any of your game. But the one thing that shone for me, like I said, there was again, Balky's already mentioned it. Eddie Howe had made a couple of changes, but the way Harvey Barnes played in that narrow role, played in that 10 slot, a little bit closer to Voltemada, and we heard. I've got a little sequence from Eddie Howe I'll put up at the end of this, but I just wanted to put this one on because I think this, again, it goes totally underrated. Now, I have to be careful because obviously we've got to be careful of copyright and everything else. So, what I was going to try and do, if I can, I'm going to put this on the screen, and I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to run it through. So this is the start of our first goal, and you've seen J7 there standing in the middle of the field. He's just got that ball that has been hooked clear by O'Reilly, and he's passed it on to Bruno, who again, you think about going back. Bruno's faced off with 3 blue shirts there. Ascending on him, and that's why I gave Bruno not for this particular goal or even the build-up. This was the tenacity of Bruno throughout the entire game, playing in that more central role. He could see the game. He went box to box, side to side. He did it to Tonali, but where Tonali often will pass the ball from that deeper role, what Bruno wanted to do on Saturday evening, was carry the ball. He wanted to be the one that not only sat in that pinnacle role, be the point. He wanted to push and move on, because what happened then was both J7, as you can see in the field there, and I think in the bottom right hand side, that there is, and I think that's Tonali. I think that's Tino. Tonali's up past the referee on the right hand side, so all 3 of our midfielders are actually going forward because of that movement from Bruno. And if I can just move it forward ever so slightly without going too into the stand, you can see Bruno. He's got an option here. He can just pass it out to Louis Saul. Quite simple. Just a pass into that channel. And you can see what you've got here is, I'm unsure of which way. Nunez doesn't know whether to go out to Hall to close that, because that's where he's expecting the ball to go. You can see his body's travelling in that direction. What he wasn't expecting was that drive through this midfield of the park here, going up. And again, for me, that pass and this element of play here, again, in the past, what we've seen is our boys pass that ball and give up. You can see here, J7's not moved. He's not. He's stationary. He's passed the ball to Bruno, who's gone on 5 yards. J7's not made any movement towards that ball whatsoever. Louis Saul has. He's on the outside. He wants that ball, and I was expecting Harvey Barnes just to have that going that side, going into this area here for the likes of Louis Saul. Never did I expect this one element of play to take 4 blue shirts out of the play, and this to me was Harvey Barnes on his day. What a player he can be. And again, we'll bring it up. As you can see, you've got everybody keeping an eye on the players around him. There you go. There's Tonali, look. And this is what Eddie was saying about trying to bring Voltemada into the game. And this, to me, was the makeup. Freeing Tonali by not playing him in that centre deep zone, because like I say, it's not Tonali that wants to drive forward all the time. It's Bruno, it's J7, but all 3 of them going there, it creates a lot of bodies in the middle of the park. You've got width from Louis Saul and you've got width from Murphy. And as you keep going, as you can see, he just gets that ball and he just plays it with such delicacy here. It's away from his body slightly. You think that Gonzalez is going to get onto this, and he literally just takes it out of the path. And that there takes Bruno through 4 bodies. And now there's a space to attack. And Nunez has got to make a decision. Leave Hall. There's your question marks. What's going on here? You can see we've got 5 bodies onto 3 just through moving the ball quickly. And for me, that is where Newcastle have not been at the races all season. A couple of good plays, a little bit of a tweak in tactics, and straight away, you've got a different outcome from the manager. What was your thoughts on that play, guys?
Just quickly do the super chat, guys.
Yeah.
Tony T is saying, you know who else didn't start in that win?
Yeah, that I mean, it looked a lot better that with Voltemora. He didn't look in that passage of play, especially. You could see he wasn't just by himself. He wasn't
No.
sort of trying to do something. But I do think they slightly changed his game as well. I think he played a little bit further forward than he had.
Mm.
He seemed to be a little bit further up the pitch. And I was at the game. I don't know what you thought, Win. Did you see much from Joe Linton? Did you think he had a great? Because I thought he was pretty inept for most of the game.
He didn't do a lot creatively, but he
No.
he did his
He always do his defensive duties.
he did his breaking up play.
He did simple, and sometimes, like I said, you don't have to be a worldie to be involved in a game. You can do, like I say, sometimes if you do the simplest jobs, but you do them well. And I mean, we go back to that pass that he did behind, I think it was Tonali or Bruno. He gave the ball straight back to City, and you think, God, J7, what are you doing? Simple pass to feet, and he puts it behind, and you think, it's the good and bad. But like I said, sometimes you don't need to be a worldie. You don't need to have something, special to be part of that team. And what he did for that first goal is as good as scoring for me, because without him taking that ball in the middle of the field and just playing, the build-up play is as important as the end play. And I think that was really good, and like I say, deserved to be patted on the back for that one.
The only reason I mentioned it, Gary, is obviously off the other night when you had the heat map up and you were showing J7
On the left.
I deliberately had like a little watch of him, and as I say, his defensive play you've got, and breaking up play you've got no issue with, but
2 out of 3 tackles won, 5 out of 9 ground duels won, 3 out of 4 aerial duel ones, and 5 clearances, 4 recoveries.
It's more the attacking play I'm talking about, because he is technically an attacking midfielder where he plays. And
Everton have just gone one up, guys. 10 with
10
men. Yeah, it's a cracking goal as well. To be fair, Dewsbury Hall.
Yep, just saying. I think you expect more from him on the attacking side would be, and you're right. He won the ball back. That was a defensive move, if you like, getting the ball back. But I think going forward, you just need a little bit more from him, and I think maybe Ramsey needs to get a chance in there.
I agree, and I think Ramsey will get a chance.
Yeah.
This is, like I say, a good snippet from. This is done from Haters TV, believe it or not. So it's a small snippet from the interview post the Man City game. It's quite funny actually, because they're just taking the Michael about Voltemora not being here, but trying to play and build up. So it's a good one, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. Let me just make sure I've got the noise on. Here we go.
The work we did in the break was really important. Now Nick wasn't part of that; he was away in Germany, but we worked a lot on different movements of the players around him to try and bring out the best in him, if that makes sense. So, despite the fact he wasn't with us, we were thinking of him.
Were you his
Dan
body
Burn,
double?
he was away as well. So,
classic. And there you go. So, like I said, it seems to be the way forward. And again, we talk about not being overcritical. We talk about not being a channel where all we do is put Newcastle down. It's about highlighting issues, trying to speak as honestly as we can. Everybody has an opinion. But what we also try and do is be an even keel. We don't want too many haters. We don't want too many lovers. We want people to come on and share what they feel, share how they see the game, because that's the beauty of football, isn't it? Everybody sees the game through different glasses. I mean, especially Win, through them beer glasses. I've got a bottle of brown hair. I'm sure if you look through the bottom of my brown eyeglasses, you'd see more. But it is what it is, and I love that. But like I said, I love the fact that Eddie has worked to try and include Voltemora, even though Voltemora wasn't there, to try and work a system that supports Voltemora's role of play, and it seemed to work, and it worked really well.
Get a few of these super chats in.
A lover. Oh, we're the lads.
Give young Murphy a game at left back. You can always take him off if he's not up to scratch. Well, that's one.
But do you not lose the quality into the box with that one? Or you mean Alex Murphy?
Yeah. I think that's who he means anyway. I would
Well,
imagine.
well, Murphy, that's the trouble. You've got to be careful
Two
because
Murphys,
we've seen Jacob Murphy at left back now.
I don't think this is a type of game you chuck a youngster into the first team. Again, I'd have no issues with them having him on the bench, and if we're 2 or 3-0 up, giving a couple of them a few minutes. But you don't put.
So start Hall and then bring him on.
But I mean, that's what I said. I'm all for starting Hall, but start him at left midfield. Play 3 at the back, so he hasn't got so much to run into. You've got that support and cover there. You've got your 4. You can even go 5 at the back. You can go 3-5-2 if you want.
So hang on, Barry. What you are advocating
so
there?
All right, John. What's that?
So what you're advocating there is making 3 changes to make 1 change.
No, I'm saying again we go back to this failure that we seem to say we can only play a 4-3-3. What we need to start saying is if you haven't got the players to fit. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole, isn't it? If you haven't got the players...
Sorry, have I misunderstood you there? Were you saying don't play Hall at left back, play him in left midfield?
Yeah, play him a bit further up the field so he hasn't got to track. That's where he come from, When he was at Chelsea, he was a left midfielder.
He started off in the youth team as a midfielder.
Yeah, it's not as if it's not in his locker. But all I'm saying to you is sometimes if you have to play a player because you've got nobody else in that situation, then you can say to yourself, you know what? I have got the likes of Ramsey who can come on and play that left midfield. I have got the likes of Willock who can also come on and play that left midfield. So I could start Hall, I could start Hall, but advance him a little bit further forward. So when I go like for like, like you've just said, I'm not making major changes like we've seen where everybody makes a change all over the park. That's what I'm saying.
I just that makes no sense to me at all.
Exactly.
Starting Hall in midfield.
Well, that's when he's played against Man City.
You mean the wide left of midfield? You don't mean put him in the centre of the midfield?
No, I don't mean midfield. I mean on the wide. Like I said, you'd play your 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3, whichever way you want to play. So you've always got cover. I would play a 3-5-2 against Marseille. I would draw them on because that's the system that Eddie Howe likes to have. He likes to have his 5 in midfield. And I would drop a couple of players and I'd go narrow up top. And I'd put Barnes and Voltamada close to each other. And then afterwards...
Don't try calling out Dario for his tactics, Wayne.
3-5-2. I thought you were talking about playing 4-3-3 with Hall in midfield.
No. I mean, to be fair, he has gone into there and throw it in. But I can't. I mean, like I say, I've got Burn straight back in at left back on my shirt here. So, like I say, I think that will be Eddie's system. And
as a 3.
No, as a 4, as left back.
As a 4, yeah.
And I believe that's exactly where he'll go. And we will get straight into Marseille straight after this.
NUFC Early Night News with Gary DeJordy Yum Yum, Andrew Boki, and Derek the Mighty Wind. Weekdays from 7:30 p.m. UK, 1:30 p.m. USA.
NUFC Talk.
Right then, like I say, please guys, I'm just going to reiterate what we really would like you to do before we get onto the Marseille match tomorrow night, the Champions League game. Is smash that like button for us. Share if you haven't already. Get your friends, family, and whoever you want involved in the channel. It would be lovely to hear from you. Like I say, during the day we have got the ring, which I love. It's nice to listen to Dave. Who was the postie? Was it Dave, the postie?
That was Mark.
Mark.
We've had Mark the postie, Alan the postie.
Alan the postie. And then we've got the 2 lads up in Scotland that found in. Was St Andrews? Who was that? Was that? I thought that was Mark.
Mark was St Andrews, yeah.
St Andrews, yeah. I thought it was. Lovely.
He was a lorry driver, I think.
That's right. I mean, it's lovely to listen to be fair. And then somebody come on, I think it was Umar, and said, "We just like talk sport." We're not, mate. We're even better than them. I mean, I'm not being funny. We are doing well when it comes to trying to include and be inclusive of one and all. And like I say, you have got to be a little bit more appreciative, and I suppose we must have patience when some of our viewers come on board, because not everybody that comes on board is able-bodied, and like I say, some people struggle to breathe when they're talking, and like I say, so we just need a bit of patience when we get guys come through on the phone, because like I say, unfortunately, we're not all of great voice. So like I say, Umar's what did you call him? The silent,
The Geordie Whisperer.
the whisperer, the Geordie Whisperer. That was it. Yeah, the Geordie Whisperer. I love that. Made me titter. I nearly swallowed me coffee. It went all down me top instead. But like, it's an interest. Go on, Boki.
I was just going to say, I think because we've done a few shows, you sort of get used to people still talking quite fluid, and it is nerve-wracking when you first come on. So never be nervous to come on, and we'll always be patient while you're trying to get your point across.
Yeah, but again, we've also got to take on board disability.
Yeah,
like I say, there's
100%.
people that have disabilities, and like I say, for whatever reason, if you're listening via radio or whatever you're listening to, or even on your way back in the car, like I do sometimes, I'll have the lads on while I'm on the way back from wherever I've been during the day, and I sometimes can't hear. I can hear like Wayne and Chris shouting at each other, but I can't always hear the lads that are phoning in. Today, I thought was fantastic. I thought everybody's.
Yeah, I think we've just about got it
got it pinned
sussed
down now. Yeah, it was fantastic because you could hear them loud and clear. But like I say, we just have to be a little bit weary of certain individuals that phone through. So
Fluffmeister saying can't risk playing Holantino 3 times a week. Rather save them for the league.
100%.
Northumbrian saying, when I must correctly from earlier on, the French do not like the English. They have been our enemies for over 1,000 years. As for trying to speak French to appease them, tell that to my wife. Not sure what that... Oh, wait a minute. She spoke A-level French, and back in 1982, we travelled Europe on a motorbike, and we were totally blanked, despite her efforts at parlaying the old Francais. Well, I've never found that, I've got to be honest.
Interesting.
It needs to become the norm when we are fluidly rotating the squad like the elite teams do. All are then fresher and more hungry to impress. Question from Gavin. Are we better when we have not got possession? Oh, we are better when we've not got possession, but the lower teams give us the ball. Because again, we were second best on possession. I think I'm pretty sure we're on top.
Oh, we were. Yeah. We only had 39%, I think it was, and they had
33%, 33.67.
Yeah, I knew it was in the 30s. I know they won a lot, but again, doesn't it go to show possession's only 9/10 of the law? If you don't hit the onion sack, you can have the ball all day long. You're never going to win the game, and I think that's where I keep going.
And Ronnie Omelette is saying J7 is essential in my opinion. The run we went on last year ended when he got injured.
There's one result, there's one aim stat that's the most important. That's the one in the top aim, left corner at the end of the game, isn't it? The score.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I'd do Arsene Wenger all day, every day. Win 1-0. If it meant you could do it, and that's the problem with us, though. I don't think Eddie's got the confidence in us holding on to a lead, and we've seen it lost how many times this season already? How many points have we given away already this season? So for me, if that's the way Eddie plays, because he hasn't got the confidence, characters, or whatever it is to hold on to the game once you've taken the lead, you can only play one way. And that's why Eddie keeps going for them goals. I always say I'll go back to KK days. I don't mind them scoring 3 as long as we score 4. That's KK, wasn't it? You know what I mean? That was his attitude.
Yeah.
That was the way he played. And it seems very characteristic with Eddie Howe.
But then I suppose the counter-argument is Eddie Howe won a cup.
Absolutely. But like I say, he won a cup through beating the team at their own game, if you like. Press, get the ball back, utilise the ball. And like I say, I've still yet to see a game like that Liverpool game back in February. Because to me, that was, probably Newcastle's best game underneath Eddie Howe. All over the park.
I thought Saturday's rivaled that, by the way.
I'm not saying that. I agree. I mean, I even think the Liverpool game that you said, we didn't get a result. I thought that was a great game.
It was a fantastic game.
To go down to 10 men and then come back to 2-2 and then lose it. And the Arsenal game, it was just a little bit silly towards the end, not competing for balls at the near post, flick on, and then obviously they go and get the head.
All I would say that was the Arsenal game, though, we were battered. The races.
No, we were battered.
They were head and shoulders above us. That
guys, you notice something we're saying about all the best games we've had. Big opponents.
Big teams.
We don't have...
Barcelona the same.
Barcelona same. We don't seem to have the same sort of passion when we go out against lower teams, especially away from home. I think that, as I say, that's the big test now. Is yes, we've done fantastic against Man City, and Eddie and the boys deserve all the credit they get. But we've got to follow it up at Everton.
And I agree that Everton is a big test.
Oh my days!
But Walter has to be rested tomorrow. Barnes and Langer and Gordon up top. No, thank you. If I'm putting anybody up top, it ain't Gordon.
It's got to be Barnes for me now.
I mean, having said that, his Champions League record's not bad.
No, it's not actually. But I mean, for me, I'd be struggling to say why change.
Yeah, me
too. And I don't mean personnel. I'm on about the way you play. Bring in extra bodies, but the actual way you play against top opposition, this ain't going to be an easy game. It's going to be a tough one. We know that. But don't change the way you play. Just change the people like for like. Get as close to, if not the best 11 you can get out there by resting some of the players that you need to rest. I mean, don't forget, we saw Tino in his interview post-match with an ice pack on his shin, We don't know what's happening there. Is it just a bruise? What's going on with that?
Well, did I not see a bit of blood on the bandage as well?
I don't know whether that was blood or just the ice pack. It could be just literally the packaging of the ice pack. I wasn't sure, mate, to be fair.
But there was definitely a bit of red something there, a bit of claret.
A bit of claret, indeed. Didn't Connor throw us something with that on? I'm sure Connor put something in the chat.
I think he did.
While we just get up. So, you said that you've got some information. We did talk about it. There you go. It's not... I think it's just the actual bag. It's not red, as in it's blood. I think it's literally the bag that the ice is wrapped in. That they've obviously they're too hard up there to give them a proper ice pack. They just throw a bit of ice in a bag. A bit of Sainsbury's. Have that. Love it. Marseille will have to come out to us. Adrian, you're absolutely right, mate. This is Marseille.
Well,
right?
Marseille have got to win. It's a must-win for Marseille.
Absolutely. So they're going to throw absolutely everything, because to them, it's a must or die. It's win or bust for Marseille. I can't see them actually doing anything if they lose against Newcastle tomorrow night, and that's why I think we will see the likes of Elanga start. Because I think again he'll look on the break, he'll look on that counter to try and get behind them. You sent me a side that you think could potentially start. I'm just trying to look at who that was. You think Rulli, Ria, Pavard, Bellardi, Emerson, Gomez, Højbjerg, Vermeeren, Greenwood, and Paxao and Aubameyang. I mean, Paxao is a decent player. He's not a bad midfielder by any shadow of a doubt. So you've got to look at him. We know Greenwood, and we know Aubameyang. He's 36 years old. He's not got a lot left in that locker, but he knows where the goal is.
That's it.
He will.
He'll never lose that.
Goals. No, and like I say, I was going to ask you, because this must be straight up your street. Did you know that Callum Wilson's opened himself up for England for a call?
Obviously, why not?
Aubameyang,
Yeah,
6
2 goals
3
again on
assists in 9
Saturday.
games. Yeah, against us.
Or
There you go.
Sunday, whenever it was.
Yeah.
Only one thing, can you think of another English player that you would want coming off the bench if Harry Kane got injured? What do you play up for him?
If I've told you, if Callum Wilson's fit, he's as good as there is. As old as he is. In terms of, I mean, that second goal he scored yesterday, or whenever, was superb. Out of nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Tony, I'm not as posh as Win. That's all it is, mate. It's Marseille for me. It's Marseille for him. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, don't ask me to pronounce stuff like that, especially from across the pond. What was it? You know, Tony, you've taken me completely off my coil.
Chain of thought.
Yeah, exactly. I was quite. I was listening to Martin Keown on TalkSport, who was praising Callum Wilson for his turnaround, turning West Ham back to winning ways, if you like. But then they drew. But he did say, at the end of as you've just said there, he's an Englishman who, if he can stay fit, why couldn't he go to a World Cup? And as you quite said, he certainly knows where the goal is. But I mean, it's whether he can stay fit, isn't it? That's going to be the main
thing.
issue. Right then, let's get into Marseille's team. That's what you thought Marseille will be. This is the team that they put up. It's not that one. I need to change that quickly. That I think this is the system that they played against Atalanta the last time they lost, which was like I say, 5 at the back with Agard, Egan Riley. Foxy, you'll know where. I'm sure Egan Riley's English. I'm not sure.
He was Man City Academy.
Man City. There you go.
And then he went to Burnley. And then he went to Marseille.
Then they've got Pavard, Murillo, and Garcia as your wing backs, if you like. Murillo likes to get down the line with Greenwood. He's the one that likes to get really high up the field, if you like. He's their Louis Saul. He likes to really move on. And then in the middle, you've got O'Reilly and Højbjerg. Paxel, like I say, he likes to come in close and play in the high line. Same with Greenwood. Greenwood will dominate this type of area here if we allow him. So again, they can, as we've said before, if you look at Marseille during the season, De Zerbi's, he wants to revive their Champions League hopes. That's virtually what they're saying. It's been a bit of a mixed bag, if you like. I think they've averaged around about 2 goals scored per game in a competition, but also they concede 1.3. So these guys are struggling to keep a clean sheet, and that's why I said, for me, this has got to be one of those situations where Newcastle can't just allow them to come at us all the time. There has got to be a game plan of a way of getting behind them, because, like I say, they are weak defensively.
But I say the other thing is, should they take the lead, it's not the end of the world, because they've lost already 2 Champions League games from winning positions.
Can I just ask, this shows you how much homework I've done for the show. Whereabouts are they in the French League at the minute?
Second. Yeah, Mason Greenwood's top scorer for them, I believe.
I was just going to ask, how's he getting along? So they're nobody's mugs, and by the sound of it, they're not going to be
definitely not
a steamroller over.
No, I think that is the thing, isn't it? We all think that they're going to do, we're just going to get turned over, and it doesn't work that way at all. You've got to get in, and for me, you've got to get in there and get involved.
I want revenge.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You've got to start asking yourself and questioning. Like I said, the mentality of why has to change, and these games, are the places where you can go and set your stall out in readiness for the away game against Everton. And I think that is the problem, because to me, we talk about confidence. We all talk about building momentum, building that confidence where you can go home and away and you can play. I think if we go to Marseille and play poor, that will just take us into a poor mentality into Everton. Because at this present moment in time, we've heard everybody talk. Kieran Trippier, Lascelles have spoke about it. We've heard Tino talk about it. Bruno, Tonali. They've all spoke about our away form and how poor it is.
Dan Burn in his presser said, we've got
do something about it.
The league's our bread and butter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Foxy's in here saying Belletti will be the weak link. We were linked to him in the summer. He's nice on the ball, but puts his team in trouble with silly mistakes. Perfect for Elanga to get out of him.
That's what I said. He does play those cross balls a little bit too often for me. When I talk about percentage football, you're absolutely right. Belletti, if he plays, could be the one that gives us the opportunity, put it that way. And when I said about the Man City game, it was certain individuals that trigger the press or the half press as a unit. I think it'll be Belletti for them if he plays. I think he'll be the one that I will earmark and say, if he gets the ball, go as a unit. Try and close that space. It'll be an interesting one.
Steely's saying they've never lost at home this season. In the league they haven't, but they've lost twice at home in the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, Atlanta, last minute goal as well. So
from being in front.
It was 1-0. How were they in front?
Oh, well, they must have been in front against Madrid, and who else did they play again? Sporting. Got beat 2-1 twice.
I mean, like I say...
So that's actually 3 games they've lost at home because they beat Ajax away, didn't they? I think. Am I wrong?
I haven't got the results in front of me at the minute. But like I say, we know that... Zerbi typically sets up his team 4-2-3-1 with his fluid system favouring the short ball possession, high pressing type of style. He demands good ball retention. And like I say, there's certain individuals, as we've just mentioned, that could falter under a bit of pressure. He likes intelligent off-the-ball movement, full-backs who can push up because his centre-backs or even the goalkeeper help building from the back. So again, their keeper will drop in. If they play a 4, the keeper will drop in to make a 3. Again, we've got to have that vision. I think we've got to have that look at the way if the goalkeeper does press on the 18-yard line, just go and have a go. Get the keeper thinking that every time I play up so high, I've got a chance of being lobbed here, and that's what I would do. I'd really be looking at keeping them penned back as much as I possibly can.
Tony T, thank you, Tony, is in second to PSG in Liga. It's hardly a flex.
How many X's in that?
No idea.
In recent weeks, Olympique Marseille have improved defensively. Their new defensive lineup includes Benjamin Pavard, Agard, Emerson, has been praised for combining speed, communication and pressing, according to the French league newspapers. De Zerbi has also said his side are progressing against teams that defend deep, showing they are becoming more flexible tactically. So let's have a look at some of their patterns of play. According to a tactical analysis, Olympique Marseille sometimes switch between a 3-2-5 shape to overload the final third, and a 3-1-6 is what I was saying at lunchtime, or this afternoon I should say, when pushing forward, which highlights their attacking ambition. That's according to Total Football. Their pressing is aggressive. When they lose the ball, they try to regain it quickly, often in advanced positions. Very similar to the way Newcastle are. And like I say, this could be one of those potentials where you've got 2 heavyweights clashing in the middle of the park, and really going for it. And it's again, it's about finishing. And that's why I worry if he starts Anthony Gordon up top, have we got that finisher? Because he hasn't shown anything up to yet. And that's why I think, yes, we've got to give Voltemada a rest. But the way Harvey Barnes is playing, you know what I mean? Stay there, stay up top. Leave if Gordon has to play, put him out wide if you have to. But I do question the delivery. And that for me is the issue.
Yeah, Jano's saying, so what's the Eddie Howe excuse? Need to manage Hall's minutes? Need a natural left-sided player at centre-back? I'll be gobsmacked if Byrne doesn't play, and disgusted if he does.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Let's have a look at. I mean, is there anything from you, Andy, that I've heard? I mean, I know you said you've not really got much understanding of Marseille and the way they play. Is there anything that you've heard so far that you want to get involved with, or are you happy just for us to carry on?
I'm not I don't watch a lot of European football, to be perfectly honest, so I don't really have much knowledge of this team.
Okie dokie, buddy. So let's have a look at, again, this might help you out then a little bit, bud. Strengths and potential risks, if you like. Attacking threat at home, Marseille home form is strong. Their matches at the Velodrome tend to be open with high goal expectation. That's from the pro tipster. Solid midfield base with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg anchoring midfield. They have experience and physicality. Good squad investment. The club invested in quality. Big names like Mason Greenwood and Aubameyang, if fit, give them a real cutting edge up top. Rising defensive confidence. Recent defensive performances and more cohesive backline suggest they'll be becoming more stable under De Zerbi. So again, you look at the risks and weaknesses. Inconsistency in Europe. The European results have been patchy. The loss to Atlanta shows they are vulnerable, especially in tight moments. High line vulnerabilities. Their aggressive pressing, again, they like to press up high in the field. Very Spursy, if you like, under Pep. Pep. Oh, dear. Get my teeth in. Under that one, you know what I mean. The aggressive pressing and Ange Postecoglou, that's the one. The aggressive pressing and high defensive line can be risky. If they fail to win the ball back, they can be exposed. Squad pressure, cohesion. Reports suggest some tension in the squad over selection under De Zerbi's methods, which could massively affect their performance and qualification risk. Given the new Champions League format, incomplete round robin, every point matters even more. A slip up at home could be costly. So again, under a lot of pressure going into this game with Newcastle, and any mistake that they get, like I say, defensively, it could put more pressure on them. So for me, Newcastle must go and get that win. So, gentlemen, going on to Newcastle, and everybody in the chat, play along as well. Who's in goal, gentlemen? Who do you think will play in Newcastle's goal?
Well, for me, it would be Ramsdale, but I think it'll be Pope. I think for the Champions League, he'll stick with Pope.
Do you not think you'll give Ramsdale a shout, even though... No?
No, just knowing Eddie, I don't think so.
I would play Ramsdale as well, but I think he'll play Pope.
Okay, so I'll go Pope. And who's going to play at the back then? You tell me your systems of play, who you think's going to play, and we'll go from there.
Is this what we think of what Eddie will do?
Well, you can go either. I mean, you can go with what you think or whatever, you want to do, what Eddie wants to do. It's your choice, it's yours. I'm happy to go with whatever.
Bear in mind, Trips hasn't travelled.
I was going to say, I would play a 3/5 at the back, but I think Eddie will play the 4. I think he'll go with Kraft right back.
Wow.
Shaw and Chow in the middle.
Who would you put right side? Who would you put left side?
Chow is the left side.
Chow was right, yes, on Saturday, wasn't he?
You want to go the other way?
But I'm happy enough with that.
Okay.
Does he maybe give Chow a rest and play a Botman win?
Well, I certainly wouldn't give Chow a rest.
No. You would never give anyone a rest.
You're
a slave driver.
But on that point now, let's see it for as is. Shaw had a good game, right? He wasn't
He did have a good game.
He had a good game, right? But he's getting on.
Huh?
Can he do 3 games a week? Is it not worth bringing Botman in for this one off the bench and giving him I'm not saying a rest.
I'd be astounded if Botman doesn't start, I'll be honest.
I think maybe he's right. Take Shaw out and put Botman in.
Yeah. Let's throw him out then. Let's throw Botman in for this
Might
one.
have a Rolls Royce and leave it in the garage.
Exactly. Might as well get it serviced once in a while.
Give it
So
a
who
run
would-
out once in a while.
Who are you going to put left back?
Well, personally, I would put young Murphy,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to say it. But the guy that you've got there will play.
But you know why, don't you? You know why.
I would play Lewis Hall.
Height. I only put him in there. I didn't take him off because of the height. I mean, it is crazy. But you know, you were talking about before Alex Murphy potentially coming in, Louis Hall potentially coming and having a start. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I just think it'll be, let's get Dan Burn in, give him a game, because his excuse is Hall can't do 2 games back to back in 72 hours, which, you know, it's beyond belief in me now.
You know what? Though, he can't win either way because I would say, you know, you'd start Hall, but then if Hall comes on and he gets injured, he gets slagged for. I think you've got to say somebody else has to play at left back apart from Hall, and the person who you've got in there will play. And for radio, it is Burn.
Yeah, for those without the visual aids.
Yeah.
I'm just taking my tablets. Excuse me, guys. You can carry on talking while I'm trying to swallow.
Would you go with someone definitely right back, Win?
I would start with Livramento and Hall.
It's too much 3 games in a week for them, man. Just back from injury.
Well, this to me is the most important game, so I'm telling you what I would do.
What makes you think this is the most important game? Because we've got the points in the Champions League. We're going to get through the next round unless something goes drastically wrong. So why prioritise this game?
So let's capitalise on that and get top 8.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's go through the midfield rather than get anchored on defensive, because, like I say, this could be a show in itself. Let's go through the midfield, and then what we can do, by looking at what people are saying in the chat, we can try and even the keel up. Yeah. All right, so who's going to be, what formation in midfield? You've gone 4 at the back. You're going to go 3? You're going to go 4, 5? Which way are you going to go?
3.
3, okay. Who's your 3?
Bruno, Tonali and Ramsey for me.
So you wouldn't give Willock a go, man?
No.
I would maybe give remembering that Tonali played the international as well. Maybe give him a rest. Maybe Miley, Bruno, and Ramsey.
So what would you put? Bruno still in the 6?
Leave Bruno in the 6.
Right.
Miley in the 8, and J7. Obviously on the left hand side. Sorry, Ramsey on the left hand side.
Because Eddie Howe said in the presser, you know, the midfield is the battle. Winning that midfield is important for his team to progress.
I think
further.
putting Ramsey and Miley in that midfield is suicide.
Well, he's got J7 in there.
No, I would put Ramsey in. Sorry, I said J7.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it was me, Gary. I said J7, but I meant Ramsey.
Okay.
I just think when I don't think you're getting your head around the fact that we've got to rotate this season. We can't go in game after game after game with the same team.
Right, so pick your games when you rotate, and this for me is not one of them.
But this isn't a must-win game. The Everton game to me is a must-win game.
I think this is a must-win game.
But that's what I said. It's not about, you know, going out there to get a performance, if you like. It's not about getting the performance. It's about getting the results.
Yeah.
You know, and if we can come away from Marseille with 1 point, I've gone for the 1-1 draw. I'll be more than happy. I bet you Eddie Howe and an art now, if somebody said to him, I'll give you a point now and just fly back home, he'll take it.
So
then he doesn't have to bother trying to rotate.
would you rather rotate it against Everton, is what you're saying, Win?
Absolutely. But I don't necessarily think that you need to. What I'm saying is stick Tino and hold on, get off to a flying start like we always do, and then make as many changes as you want when we're a couple of goals to the good.
You can't keep playing the same team week in, week out. This is the full point, that we've got a better squad of players, and we knew that we were going to be playing weekend and midweek games every week. You've got to rotate. You've got to get your head around the fact that we have to rotate. If we don't, you're just going to burn players out.
Well, I disagree with you. I think there's other games that you can rotate in.
So what games do we rotate in? Because you're saying don't rotate in the Champions League, don't rotate in the league. They're the majority of our games.
What I'm saying is you don't need to rotate from the start. You need to rotate. His game management needs to improve.
But you do need to rotate from the start when you need to give players a rest.
Well, that's
where
where you say we do, I say we're doing. Especially not whilst we're in the situation we're in, where all of a sudden we haven't got Trippier either. And Kraft, as good as he's been in the past, he was poor in the last game he played.
Do you remember the season when we had no players fit, when Bruno basically was sitting on a knife edge for the yellow card, with the yellow card? The problem that season was we didn't rotate. We didn't have the players to do it. We do have the players now. That was the whole point of this summer, was to get players in so that we could compete in the Champions League and in all competitions. You've got to use that squad win. You can't just
two out of three for me is too many in the in that midfield.
But you've said this before, we won.
Who started against Spurs? I take it that's the game you're on about.
But as I say, we rotated and we won. You've got to get used to the fact we're going to have to rotate this season. We're going to have to. You cannot just play the same team week in, week out, week in, week out.
I don't think we've already spoke about the fullbacks, and Eddie Howe said in the presser something that he's got to sleep on tonight and make a decision after speaking to the medical team, the analytics, and everything else, to see how they think this extra game in midweek.
Well, I tell you what, there's a thing. Could we made a lot of changes against Spurs? I'm just double checking it here now.
Yeah, 8 wasn't there?
Yeah, we started Willington, Ollie, and Ramsey.
Yeah,
Kraft was started. Ramsdale was started. Alanga was started. Barnes was started before, when Gordon was available.
I would have a lot more respect for how, if he rotated and used his squad, than if he just goes
got beat.
Team. Well, any team you could get beat.
Absolutely, you could put your best team out there and get beat. Win. We've seen it before. We have lost to West Ham and Brentford. Remember, I would put Marseille a little bit more than them.
The point is, we didn't have Hall and Livramento available then. We have got them available now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But that's what I said. If they're that important to you, and I do understand where Balky's coming from with this, if they're that important for you, the next match in the Premier League has got to be as important then to think about. Because, like I say, we have got some points in the bag, even though we're not qualified yet for Champions League. And it must be to be in that top group so we don't have the extra games, because that will just impact the season even more. We've got some really important games coming our way. And up until January, the fixture list is massive. So, for me...
If you work on the assumption, which is not a wild assumption, that we're not going to get anything in Paris against the current European champions, and if we lose tomorrow, then all of a sudden that makes PSV a must must-win game in order to qualify.
But we shouldn't be going into things thinking like that.
No,
Shouldn't
and
be going- you
if
shouldn't
we
be
win
going
tomorrow,
into it.
if we
You're-
win
you're-
tomorrow, we don't need to because
you're meant to
it's job
be the
done.
you're meant to be the happy clapping chief. Yet you're the worst one for before games talking about losing. You know, we can win these games. We can win these games with rotating the squad.
Well, that's where we differ. I absolutely think we can win this game.
You don't. But no, I think
Michael Smith is saying Liverpool can handle 45 minutes exactly.
But I'm not saying we can't win this game. I've said we can win this game, but we can do it with rotation.
Well, I don't think we can.
So you've got a so you think this team's a negative? Which players in this team then aren't good enough?
What I'm saying is, you certainly can't take two out of the midfield.
I'm saying which two players in this team aren't good enough.
Maley and Ramsey together.
So no, as individuals, which player in this team isn't good enough?
Maley and Ramsey together aren't good enough.
That's not the question I'm asking. What I said was, which player isn't good enough in this team? Which player is the weak link?
Either Maley or Ramsey.
So they're neither them two.
What I'm saying is, I wouldn't change. I wouldn't take two out of our midfield three.
So neither of them two are good enough to play for.
Yes, they are good enough to play for,
And
but not first choice.
So, but they can't play together.
I don't think we can play together. No, certainly not with Bruno.
That's ridiculous. Sorry, we've bought players. We've bought a 44 million pound midfielder who you're saying is not good enough. We've got a young lad coming through the youth ranks who's put in some great performances for when he had to. You're saying he's not good enough.
Correct.
That's terrible. I mean, that's a terrible thing to say about your own players.
What I'm saying is, it's asking too much of them for to come into a team. The problem we've always had is whenever we've blooded players, we've been blooding them in a weak team. And that's exactly what you'd be doing deliberately, self-inflicted here.
So how is this a
by
weak
putting
team?
two of them in?
How is this a weak team? You've got a 44 million pound player coming into the midfield. How does that make a weak team?
Well, for a start, he's not fully match fit yet, I don't believe, which is proved with his performances. He wasn't great against Tottenham. He did a job.
We won the game 2-0, man.
Yeah,
you
we
can't
won
say
the
he won.
game.
That's what I said. He's done a job. That's all you can ask for them.
How can you get
8 changes?
You're saying don't rotate players. How do the players on the bench get match fit?
They can come on. That's game management. That they start with your best team and then change them.
No, that's not rotation. Rotation is you rotate the players. You rotate the players from game to game.
You can define rotation any way you want. I'm saying I want to. I'd rather win this game than win the Everton game. That's the bottom line.
I just think you've got a really low opinion of some of our players.
Well, maybe I haven't got as high an opinion as you've got. I don't think Miley is the superstar that a lot of people think he is. I think he could become that.
And the only way he gets to become that is if he plays games.
Well, I mean, we've already seen it, haven't we? With Elliot Anderson. You know, Elliot Anderson wasn't classed as a superstar at Newcastle when he was there because he had no game time. And he goes elsewhere and does it. And I can see the same happening to Miley. I really can.
I can see we're arguing about the midfield all day. Gary, don't want to move up front.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you know, that's what I said. I mean, there's arguments either way. And to me, you're both right and you're both wrong, I suppose, because, you know, there is an element of danger whichever way you go. You go with the same 11 that started against Man City, injuries could come forward. You go with the change 11, results could go against you. You know, you're always at risk as a coach to try and make the team balanced and work. And I think, you know, for me, and I'm sure I'm right in saying this, and he's here by the side of me, you did mention this against Tottenham. If you make too many changes, the game will go against us. And we played really well as a unit because, again, no individual makes a team. We didn't look at all at a loss against Tottenham, and they had a strong side out there. Yes, not the strongest players, but they had a strong side out there. And for me, that is all you're asking of the players that come onto the field of play is commit to the cause. You know, if these lads are going to break into the first team, they have to be given an opportunity to shine. And if they don't get an opportunity to shine, you've got to start questioning then, why come to Newcastle?
Oh, okay, I just let's nail it down. I do not want to take any risks in this game. This game, for me, is the most important game of the season so far. Because of where we stand in the Champions League and because of what the Champions League could mean.
We talked about
you've got another 20-odd games in the Premier League to recover from any setback at Everton.
But
you haven't got another 20-odd games in the Champions League to recover from a defeat.
You're taking it as read if we play this team, we'll lose. These players are good enough to win this game. You've got to start rotating. You've got to give the players a chance. As I say, what's the point in paying all this money for the players we bought in the summer if we're just going to stick with the same team all the time?
But for to come on in replacement when they're needed.
But you cannot. I don't think you. As I say, I just don't think you're getting it. That you cannot go through a season playing the same team every game. It's just it's impossible. And if you do, you're going to
so you take them out one at a time. Two at a time. What? Because you're taking two out of the midfield. We're already going to be depleted at the back.
But that's a strong midfield and it's a strong back four. It's a strong team.
I mean,
with Dan Burn at left back.
Here we go. I can feel it in my water.
I mean, I grant you, if you take Dan Burn out, the squad, we're guaranteed to win because he's got 100% win rate when he doesn't play at all. But no. In all seriousness, that's a strong team. That's a strong Premier League team.
Let's go with the forward line then. Let's have a look at E11 on paper, and then we'll have a look at what people are putting in the chat, and then we'll tweak it from there. I do think at this present moment in time, the squad that I'm seeing could give you a game. It's not a problem for me. There's weeks, the fullbacks are weak. I'll give you that. But we know that anyway. But until he addresses the situation in January, which is where we need to be, they are going to maintain. But they're always going to be weak. You're never going to get better than Tino and Hall as your fullback. So I think that's where we are with that one. So go on then. Tell me your front line.
Go on when I let you.
Well, I would definitely still have Voldemort.
Okay. So you're not going to give him a break either. Okay.
Not going to give him a break, but I'd be tempted, and I'd play Barnes again as well.
Okay.
But I'd be tempted to give
Where
Murphy
would you play
a break.
Barnes? A bit closer?
Well, just wherever he feels he can do the most damage. Give him a free rein.
Okay, so and again, we're talking about potentially you could.
And bear in mind he's got Ramsey behind him instead of J7 in this instance.
And we got Dan Burn behind him.
And you've got Dan Burn behind him.
We'll stop mentioning Dan Burn. It's still making us feel quality and being in the team.
Elanga or Murphy?
Elanga?
Elanga for me.
Okay.
And I think that
would
helps
be 11
more defensively as well because he's got the speed to get back and help Craft.
Yeah.
If he chooses to, that's the only problem. Because we know Murphy will.
But again, it's not a choice of whether he chooses to. How teacher tells him he has to do that. First 20 minutes, if he's not, hook him off and put Murphy on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm just trying to think. Ruli, Weir, Pavard, Balerdi, Emerson. I'm just trying to think how I can change theirs up a little bit. to make it look. So Egan's out. Balerdi's in. According to yours, Garcia's out as well, isn't he? And Murillo. I'm surprised at that because Murillo does like to get down that line. So,
I would fancy we're playing that team.
And me. Any day of the week. And who was the other one you said? Emerson.
Yeah.
So it'll be a back four. I'm not sure whether it's Pavard that comes out to the right back then. Emerson there. And who was the other one in midfield, did you say?
Gomez, Højbjerg, and Vermeeren.
Vermeeren. That's who I haven't got. I got O'Reilly. So he's out. So Vermeeren's in. So it'll be Højbjerg as the 6, Vermeeren, and who was the other one you said?
Gomez. I think Gomez will be the 6.
Well, I mean, they could play with 2 6s, I suppose, and have him in the diamond.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure, like I say, where.
And then that front three
four
picks itself. I think Greenwood, Paisho, and.
So that's what you think we're going to be up against then.
Yeah,
they're going to be playing more or less an 8 and 2 6s compared to our 2 8s. And we don't play with them, do we? We play with a fluidity that will get us over the line. So are they pressing with 10 men, Queen? Says Magda Bates. Well, they do press high. According to
typical De Zerbi.
Connor. Agard is out. So he's gone, according to Connor. Is there anybody else that's involved in that? With Marseille mounting injuries, they are likely to rest players for match versus Newcastle.
and Medina are both out.
With the club in a title race with PSG. Defender Agard has been ruled out with a persistent pubalgia. I mean, that's a nice one. Pubalgia issue.
Yeah.
And Medina has suffered a fresh ankle relapse, with Guri and Traore also long-term absentees. Well, I mean, like I say, they are struggling for players. I don't know who else will come into that back line, and it's got to be who I picked.
Well, it would be Egan Riley, I think. You haven't got Riley in there, have you?
No, Agard's out. I would imagine.
With both again Medina sideline, De Zerbi may be forced to rely heavily on Pavard, Egan Riley, Balerdi. 2 out of those 3.
All right, there you go then. We'll go with that. See where we are.
Just before we finish, do you think we should run through, just for people listening on the radio, should run through the 2 teams that we've picked?
Well, like I said, we will indeed. Are you two happy with what you've got on the field of play now? I know you're not winning, but we've only got 3 minutes till the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we are going with Pope, Kraft, Chow, Shea, and Byrne at the back 4, with Mailey, Bruno, and Ramsey in midfield. And a front 3 of Alanga, Voltemada, and Barnes. And they'll be playing Marseille in a 4-3-3 as well, effectively, but with Rulli in goal, Weah, Pavard, Balerdi, and Emerson, Gomez, Højbjerg, and Vermeeren in midfield, and Greenwood, Paisho, and Aubameyang up top.
So Emerson, I've been told that it's going to be Weah. That'll be right back.
Yeah. Rulli, Weah, Pavard, Balerdi.
Oh, well, he's not in my side.
I've actually got a team selection right for a match.
Well, yeah, we did last season because it was picking itself.
I'd be amazed if that selection turns out tomorrow night. In fact, I'll screenshot it now.
I'm going to put T Weah in there because I haven't got the other Weah. For some unknown reason, they haven't downloaded him. So I'm just going to put Weah in there. Forget the T. It's just a wee. It's just a wee. There you go. So, I mean, like I say, this is the same for both. Kondogbia and Højbjerg centre mids he's going with. Foxy, who's obviously very good. Egan Riley will be on the bench. Kondogbia and Højbjerg centre mids rather than Gomez. So let's have a look at what that one will look like. Have I got Kondogbia before I throw him out? Because that's yeah, I have Kondogbia. There you go.
I thought that's what you said, Gerhard.
Egard. Do you reckon Vermeeren will be in there, Foxy, or not? Like I say, I'm coming to the end of the show anyway now, so we're going to stick with that. And like I say, thank you all for everything.
All will be revealed at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, like I said, that is, I mean, the one thing that comes from this show is that's how difficult it is for Eddie Howe to pick a 11 from what he's got, because, like I say, there's pros and cons, whichever way you go. Yeah, I mean, it is going to be where we are, like I say, come 8 o'clock tomorrow night. But don't forget to obviously be with us all the way, because we will be doing the watch along, and we'll have the mighty win with us tomorrow, which is something that we don't always get the pleasure of. So again, thanks to the mighty win, thanks to Bowkey, thanks to the guys who super chatted, and until the next
Tony
one.
T and the Revenge. Thank you very much, son.
And don't forget, yeah, I'm going to say, don't forget, we've got the lads coming directly after our short interlude. So don't go anywhere. They'll be on right after this. So thanks, everybody.
You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army. Live daily on the website, on YouTube, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army. Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek the Mighty Win, Rory Caviani, and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK. NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Late Night Show here on NUFC Talk. Of course, the Mighty Win and Bookie are going to continue on, and Roy should be joining us. He's running a bit late, about a few minutes or so. He should be joining us. Welcome, one and all, and continue the ones that were listening to the previous show. Appreciate all of that very much indeed. It is 3 degrees in the Toon, ladies and gentlemen. Light rain and a gentle breeze.
It's bitter. I've just been out
It
putting the bins out.
Well, it's 3 degrees though. It's been worse. You know, I've seen -1 last week, so I guess it's not.
It's windy as well, so you've got the wind chill.
It's wind. Yeah, well, you know how the weatherman says, you know, it's say 3 degrees and it feels like 1. Well, it's 1 then. It doesn't feel like it. If it feels like it, that's what it is. So stop giving us a numpty number to make us feel better. So whatever it feels like, that's what it is, ladies and gents. So how's it going, lads? Are you guys good?
Yeah. Good, always good after a win. Always good after a win.
Always good after a win. Yeah, well, that is true. Now we got to talk about the next one because we got to move on quick and in a hurry. That's the situation.
As do the team.
Yeah, that is true. As do them. So don't forget to smash the like button, folks. Welcome, one and all. And by the way, you can call us, have your say. Phone in 0191 916 8864. Actually, 64 should be. So I'll fix that one. It should be 6-4. And yeah, have your say because we want to know who would you play. I've heard a lot of conversations about different players that would be playing. Lewis Hall in midfield. I don't know if Eddie Howe would ever do that, to be fair. But certainly he's done it before. He's played it before, rather said. But Eddie Howe doesn't do that. So I just don't. I don't see it happening. I don't think he did that.
Rotation. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, but that rotation.
Each generation, they do it the same.
That rotation, though, it's too much of a change for Eddie Howe. I just didn't see that coming whatsoever. I actually didn't pay attention to the team that you guys had last, so I don't know what big chances are great
Well,
changes.
the reason
you guys
Gary
made.
was suggesting holding midfield because he wasn't really. He was saying a 3-5-2, which is a 5-3-2.
Well, you already know that there's not going to be no change in formation as far as the 4-3-3. That's never going to change. So we can say we want them to, and I mean certainly, I think we've implied that before. I like him to go to 4-2-3-1, but he doesn't do it. It's not his thing. So, I mean, are we gonna hope that he does it?
Did you hear the midfield discussion?
What about Lewis Hall coming in or what?
Well, no. If we play 4-3-3, the bookies bringing in both Miley and Ramsey.
Miley and Ramsey. No, you can't take Tonali out. Miley can play though. He can play a couple minutes. If things are going well at halftime, you can bring in Miley again. Howe will not make any changes at halftime. He's only done it a few times here and there, but not really his thing. But in the 60th odd minute, he might do it. You know, we got Roy in the building as well. Roy, how you doing, mate?
Greetings. How's it going?
Greetings.
What did you make of that game, man? You made it. You made it on time. You made it on time. Well, not on time, but you know.
What, the City game?
Yeah.
I was in the post-match thing, wasn't I?
Yeah, but you were driving. You weren't proper, man. You know, so it's just.
No, I was. It's a mixture of we're almost back to our best, and we got a bit lucky.
Almost back.
Almost back.
Well, I don't think.
Yeah, what a big difference.
I don't think you can say.
Well, we got a bit lucky and unlucky, but we deserve to win, though. We deserve to win. But
yeah, I think
what a
either
big
team can
difference.
say that.
Dunburn on the left and Lewis Hall, and then Trippier and Tino. What a difference! Like,
well,
we're almost like championship
massive
level.
difference.
We've gone from like almost championship level for like 6-7 games to back to where we were last season. And I'm hoping actually tomorrow, Hall and Tino are rested.
Are they going to play tomorrow?
Yeah, Playburn and Shaw and all them, Joe Linton as well. Rest on Ollie.
Wow, that's what Bokeh wants.
Tomorrow.
That's what Bokeh wants.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, man.
Rest our most important players tomorrow. Or keep them at least on the bench, just in case we need to come back or it's a draw and we've got 10-15 minutes left or something. But come on. Because if we cock it up tomorrow and then go and play Everton away, which is a harder game, then he doesn't win that one as well. So and then he's going to be like, oh, well, we had a midweek game. And no, he had a midweek game that he wouldn't rest anyone in.
100%, Roy.
Yeah. But I'm not going to teach Eddie what to do. He's the elite coach,
if you're saying that's gonna be used as an excuse, then well, you do have a point. You know, but again, we shouldn't have to baby around Eddie Howe. Yeah, we should. He should know that the Everton game is the most important one, and everybody other than Win believes that. And it is what it is. That's the velodrome right there in Marseille. It's empty though, but it looks very frightening. It's very steep, especially where Liam Kennedy is at. So it looks very steep down there, up there, actually. And it looks like a pretty good stadium, to be fair. The atmosphere, I'm assuming, is going to be really good. But
electric.
You know, and this whole greatest atmosphere ever nonsense that Win has started is kind of useless, to be honest. But other than that, I mean, they do got a great atmosphere, just like Bilbao.
Have you been to every away game that I've been to?
You've been to one game at the Velodrome, so you couldn't know. You know, but if I can tell on TV, that means the
atmosphere I've ever witnessed.
If I can, well, that just speaks of your knowledge. But if I can tell on the TV, that means it's great on the pitch. And I mean, Bilbao, Barcelona on their heyday, you know. But again, neither here nor there.
Barca is like a library. It's like Anfield.
No, it's not. You need to go in there, man. You need to get some footage, man. Get some proper footage. But regardless, though.
Tourists.
But regardless, Eddie, we're going to get into some quotes of Eddie, of course, in just a Malik Chiao also spoke to the media. We couldn't get the whole thing on earlier today, unfortunately. It just didn't work out that way. The feed from NUFC wasn't there, and therefore we had to jump on Sky. If I had known that Sky had it beforehand, I probably would have jumped on a lot easier. But Sky also is not going to put the whole thing. They just put, whatever they wanted. Therefore, it wasn't really all about. But you can obviously watch that because they upload that on replay on the NUFC website and whatnot. So he spoke about I got a few quotes of Eddie Howe, and I think he gave an update as well as far as injuries. So we can get into the injury part about it because I don't think you guys did that earlier on. Anthony Gordon, he said Anthony Gordon is pretty much ready to play. So he confirmed that the winger has traveled and is with the squad at Marseille, and the head coach said Saturday's win over Man City that Gordon had almost been available for that game in his recovery from a minor hip injury, but now is. But I think that's the biggest question. Actually, the biggest question is not just Gordon. It's about Eddie Howe. What is he going to do now that he has to make a decision? Now that he finally has to make a decision, will he have the personality, the attitude, lack of a better word here, the you know what to say? I'm gonna get sacked. I'm gonna get sacked here if I don't stop funning around and putting the best players on the pitch, or will he go back to the what he calls or might call trusted players, which again this season haven't been trusted at all. So that's this criticism. That is the topic of discussion that we need to focus on right now. The win wants to avoid no matter what because he doesn't want to face the music that Eddie Howe usually 90% of the time goes with the same old. So let's get to it then, because Harvey Barnes cannot come off this team if it's about merit. Now you're talking about resting. Well, also Eddie Howe can say, "I was resting against Marseille." So the biggest test will be Everton, actually. But go on, lads. Let's get to it because we gotta add some attitude in this show because it's been like a library. It's been like what Barcelona is being claimed to be, according to Roy. Howie, man. Let's get into it. Let's go. Let's get some oomph in this show tonight.
My major issue, Chris, is that we've went all this summer and wins went. We've got the best squad ever. We're going to be up there. This is the best squad I've ever seen since I've been a fan. As soon as we suggest using it, he's sort of saying, "Oh no, don't change the team. Don't change the team." I don't like the fact that we're going to change the team. That's the whole point of having a big squad is you use it. You sit with the same players week in, week out.
Don't change it too much.
What's too much though?
2 out of 3 midfield.
But when then you're saying players aren't good enough for what to play?
But exactly. I mean, to be honest,
I'm saying they're not as good as what we've got.
Everybody said that against Spurs, and Miley did a decent job against Spurs. Actually, one of the best players against Spurs. So, and actually, not many Ramsey in the whole lot.
Yeah, I'll play Miley tomorrow.
100%.
Toon Army.
And look when that lad came in, during when we had all the injuries, and he played week in, week out, and you weren't calling him then, but now
I'm not calling him now.
Well, you're saying he's not good enough.
I'm saying even then he was getting accolades then that were attributable to the fact that he was 17 and 18. And he was brilliant for a 17-year-old and 18-year-old, but he wasn't brilliant.
But how did he become brilliant?
He was adequate.
Oh, win. Come on, he was a good player. I was going to swear there, but I'm not. He was a good player over them games. He wasn't adequate. He was good. And the only way he's going to get better is by getting game time. Whereas what you want to do is just week in, week out, this is the best team, let's play the best team. I'm not saying that the team I would choose would be the best team that we could possibly put out on the pitch. But what I'm saying is
when you're bringing players in, bring them into a team.
Yeah, but when
don't make wholesale changes.
But you've got
well, it's clear and evident that all you do, for example, is complain that the players are tired. Eddie Howe before did that when we had those injuries that season. It's clear and evident that the talk sometimes is that we're not prepared to play multiple times a week. Why not make subtle rotation changes that is not really that much of a difference?
The opposite word, subtle.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, although I said, but you're not asking about changing 11 players, man. So I don't think anybody's asking that. I actually just said earlier that I wouldn't change it now.
Changing the two fullbacks for a start, which immediately weakens the team, and then you're going to change two midfield as well.
But how has that worked in the Champions League without those two players?
Yeah, we've won.
But this is apart from Barcelona. Well, there you go. Against Barcelona, it didn't work. We weren't good enough.
It didn't work for what? If we had a proper striker, we would have won that game, or at least score more goals than one. So what are you on about, man?
Marseille are the Group 2 team in our group, the Level 2 team, and I'm saying a Level 2. Actually, they might have been Pot 1. Who's the?
No, PSG and Barcelona Pot 1.
Oh, PSG and Barcelona are Pot 1. Yeah, they're Pot 2 team.
I think
so.
Marseille lost.
What I'm saying is, we've got 9 points in the bag. Fantastic. If we get beat tomorrow, that 9 points in the bag suddenly looks iffy when you look at the likes of PSG away.
I'm not, but you are assuming that you're throwing the game by changing some players, man. To me, that's unbelievable.
I'm saying I want to get 3 points tomorrow. That's what I'm saying.
Negative.
Yeah, but nothing guarantees you that.
Negative. It's a really negative.
I think playing our best team tomorrow guarantees it. There you go.
No, guarantees you a win. It says win, man. No. See, that's nonsensical.
I think we only need 2 points to make the playoff.
Playing our best team against West Ham, did we win that?
Well, that was
we didn't have Hall and Livramento then.
Oh, come on. You've got to rotate, man. You've got to understand this.
Well, so you keep saying. But if I'm going to rotate, I'm going to rotate against Everton, not against Marseille.
But I'll tell you one thing. Though, in Wynn's behalf, because he is C now at the moment. Anyway, but what I wouldn't say on his behalf is that what I would do if Hall and Tino were not absolutely knackered and they were 70% as far as energy and levels and all that stuff, 70% or something like that, I would still play them because they got a whole 5 days to get back for the Everton game. So I wouldn't really make that. But the fact is that he thinks my issue is with Wynn is that he is an extremist. He's a radical. He's far either right or left, whichever it doesn't matter. He's far up, far down. He's far everywhere. He's an extremist. He comes on earlier in the show because we won one game in our best game all season, in the first time we beat City in 67 years in the Premier League. So he thinks that we can win the Premier League. He puts that argument out there that we can win the Champions League. Sorry, the Champions League. We can win. He's an extremist. He's a radical. So he comes on now
because
I
said we can't win the Premier League, but we can win the Champions League.
And you also now come in and say that we can't rotate because that means you're throwing the game and we're gonna lose and the 3 points are out the window. That's what I'm saying. You are an extremist, man. You've got to think about it a little bit. It's just because you take out a few players here and there doesn't mean that we're going to lose, that you're throwing the game.
How have we played all season without Hall and Livramento?
In the Champions League, it hasn't been a problem.
We haven't been playing Marseille in the Champions League, and it was a problem when we played Barcelona.
No, it wasn't.
Tino played there against Barcelona.
No, but Hall didn't.
Didn't he?
What? Big
it was.
Yeah, but Tino played on the left and then Trippier on the right. We didn't lose that game because of that. We just lost the game because Barca were just miles ahead.
Okay, so we haven't got Trippier either.
Yeah, but Marseille is not Barcelona.
Come on, man.
Trust me, like Marseille.
Well, I agree with you there, but they're also not USG or Benfica or
Yeah,
Bilbao.
we have to. Yeah, but what's more important, trying to be in Europe next season, or gambling this one? And
but win.
We're not going to win the Champions League. Our target is probably quarter-final. We make the semi-finals.
Why? Once
Because
you get the quarter-final, anything can happen. We can beat
Says who?
If it's
90
minutes,
yeah. If it's 90 minutes, yeah. But let's say we play Real Madrid and we do the Newcastle. We beat them 2-1 at home. Let's say we win the first one 2-1 at home, and then we go.
We are knackered.
Then we go to Madrid, 2-1 up.
Prove that we're
5-0. It'll be 5-0 the second game.
Love it.
So
Come on, man.
So you
Bayern,
see.
have you seen Bayern play?
No, you say so. You say win. This is Newcastle United, man. Don't make me.
Hang on.
Fucking hell, man.
This is Newcastle United. What do you keep saying to me?
Well, it is. You gotta go try. You arguing with the wall. I mean, I'd say we gotta go and compete for every game, but we're not winning the Champions League, man. It's clear. You want to be hopeful. You want to. I get all of that. Perfect. You know, you keep on partying in your house by yourself, with throwing the champagne in the air, say we won the Champions League. Perfect. Do what you need to do. However, the reality shows that that's not us, man. That's not us at the moment. So you got to do compete. Try to win every game you possibly can. But you can't say that we're going to win the Champions League, or it's, when you say it's possible, yeah, anything is possible. Of course it is. But you mean it as in we can win the Champions League. And come on, man. You seriously can't think that. Super chat there.
Queenie's got a super chat saying, I'm all in for playing our best players, but continuing to do so poses a risk to players with their workload. Hence, rotate them.
Yeah. Yep.
That's right.
Yes.
Nick.
And Big
You need to
Nick,
I'm not saying
free
all,
win,
I'm not
the
saying
radical
rotate the whole
extremist, free speech for all. Right, there you go.
Yeah,
Well, listen,
I'm
you're
not
right.
saying
Yeah,
rotate
you can
the
have
whole
your
team. Which players just came back from long-term injury? Hall and Tino. You can't shove them on again.
Unfortunately, I'm leaning towards you. Although I say, like, if they're 70%, you put them on and then take them out halftime or something. But I do agree. I mean, but I do agree that they just came back from injury.
They're not going to take them off. And he's going to try to change the game.
Got Brant in the chat here saying we're in a far better position in the Champions League than in the league. We can give up a couple of points in the Champions League and still move on. Not at Evan.
Exactly.
We've got 21 games to move. We've got 20 odd games to move on in the Premier League. You get one shot at the Champions League. And why do you want points in the Premier League? So you can get into the Champions League. So what's the point of getting into the Champions League and then chucking it?
But if you lose tomorrow, doesn't mean change nothing in the Champions League. If it's
all of a sudden that puts you on 9 points, which is not enough. We go to PSG, we get beat there, still on 9 points. That gives us
the argument you put in before the Tottenham
that gives us one game.
We're chucking the game. We're not chucking the game. What we're doing is we're rotating the squad. The players that come in should be good enough, and in my opinion, are good enough to win that game.
Well, I mean,
what's the point?
honestly, I don't see.
Players are not using them.
So I don't think that team that we put out there with all those changes is good enough to win that game.
But you said the same against Tottenham.
Sorry?
You said the same against Tottenham.
I did.
You say the same thing against Tottenham?
But also bear in mind, Tottenham themselves had 9 injuries.
But you worry too much about the opponents. We need to concentrate on Newcastle United. That team that we put together is good enough to beat them tomorrow. And if you don't think that, you're not much of a fan because you're basically calling our players not good enough.
By the way, but win. Hold on. Before you dig yourself into a deeper hole here, like you said that this is our best squad you've ever seen. So you saying that they can't beat a Marseille team away if this is the best team you've ever seen, the squad you've ever seen?
And that was when we had Trippier.
Is it or isn't?
Trippier and Livramento covering for Hall. Kraft and Trippier covering for Livramento. We've got the 4 centre-backs. We know they are good. We had one midfield. We've got Miley, Ramsey coming in when they're needed. Not both together. When they're needed, replacing either J7, Tonali or Bruno. Not wholesale changes. We had our wingers now. Our wingers haven't performed all season. But we had 2 on the left, 2 on the right. And we had 2 strikers in Voltemada and Wissa. And now we've only got 1. Because of Wissa's injury. So in the very positions that we had cover, we haven't got cover anymore.
I don't think that...
Why make it... I just can't understand why you want to make it more difficult to win the game than it already is.
But, man, you are really... I wish you would understand how bad you're speaking of these players on the bench. Because you are knackering them to no belief. I mean, you're basically saying you're throwing the game by putting... rotating a few players. That's exactly what you're saying.
By rotating 2 of the midfield 3.
By the way, you value the nonsense of Gordon running around like a headless chicken. So why can't he play instead of Barnes for a game?
Because right now I think Barnes has played his way into the team. He's in a run of form. Keep him there.
But
keep
Gordon
that
runs around
confidence and run of form going.
The confidence doesn't. Nothing happens to it once you tell Harvey Barnes, "Mate, I'm resting you because I don't want you to be tired. Our important games at Everton, and important games at Everton, we want you to be there rested. Okay, we're gonna play Gordon here, because he's a numpty anyway. So we're just gonna. You tell Barnes that his confidence will maintain. You didn't worry about that, man.
I do.
You're trying to provoke us, aren't you? I think that's what you are. We're not gonna fall for that. Yeah, you're trying to provoke us. Yeah. You're trying to exactly. He's just trying to wind us up. Man.
Confidence is all important in football.
He doesn't mean anything tomorrow, he's saying, folks.
Getting another good win that promotes the confidence for going into Everton. Go out tomorrow with a half-cocked side. Get beat, and all the momentum we've got from Saturday drains out the bottom.
Half-cocked side. We're putting a £44 million midfielder back into the team. We're putting a young lad back into the team.
£44 million. You're talking about
we're exchanging 2 players who've played in the position left back and right back. What's your point? This isn't a half-cocked team. It's a good team, and it's a team that can beat them.
I love it. Win. Can you finish what you were about to say? Because you are Ramsey, the biggest. You flip off like a pancake. Yeah. Hold on, Roy. Go on, Roy. Finish your point, though.
Ramsey, Elanga, and Gordon cost what between them? About 130, 140 million. That's
45
more than the Homer sale.
45,
that's more
55.
than the Homer sale squad all put together. All of them.
When Boki told you you're talking about £44 million winger, what were you about to say to him? You say you talk about that £44 million as if he is because somebody put him in jail.
£45 million. No, man. Brighton paid us that for Minty.
So it doesn't mean anything.
Minty was 30.
And why didn't we pay more and get a good midfielder, in which case win? We had the money available.
That's for Eddie to answer that.
Eddie, but you say he had nothing to do with the price. There we go. Got him. Ding, 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 ding.
I said that he had everything to do with it.
I got another one too, by the way. He just talked about a price means nothing. Like, basically like you throw 44 million on the pitch and it performs. Well, again, when he talks to us about money and where we should be and where we shouldn't be, he says this is the team that should be here, there. He talks about money as if you actually put that diagram on the pitch and it actually worth anything. No, players got to perform. It doesn't matter what you pay a player £1 billion for him. Doesn't mean that he's going to play good. They have to get on the pitch and perform. There you go. Got him again. Ding, 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 ding. I need a bell here, man. So I don't have a bell. I'm actually very, very flabbergasted.
I've got one here. There it is.
Get him. Oh, hey, that's a good one. That's a good one, actually. That's a bit loud though, but anyway, that's a bit loud.
For a drink.
Chris,
there you
go. And I don't know why Wynn does this with players, but he's got to think about before a player gets into the team and if calling them. Chow was the one at the start of the season. Why would we pay that much for Chow? Chow isn't good enough. Chow shouldn't be in the team. He's proved to be our best defender.
And on top of that, he said that we started giving up leads because when he came on the pitch. So thank you for the
Just
super
a
chat.
fact.
Win is spot on. Win is spot on. Play best team now. Jailbroke. There you go. We read that one. I think. So listen, I'm not 100%. I'm not even saying rotate 8 players like we did against Spurs. I think that was a bit dramatic, and I think in the beginning, some would say that it was a little too much, but it didn't cost us the game because those players were hungry.
Well,
on the pitch.
it would be 6 tomorrow. 7 if
No.
you put Botman in.
Why? Who are the players that people are? Because I want to understand you now. I'm going to be your therapist. I want to understand you, and I'm an old school therapist. If you don't listen, I'll hit you inside the head until your head start getting right. So talk to me first, and we're going to start the dialogue. Talk to me, because maybe they're telling you to put the under 21s, and I would agree with you. Which are the players that they want out? They want out the team.
So instead of the back 4 that were played against City, which was Tino, Chow, Shea, and Hall, they're wanting Kraft, Chow, Botman, and Byrne. So there's 3 changes. Instead of Bruno, Tonali, and J7, they're wanting Bruno, Ramsey, and Miley. There's 5. And I want Alanga, Ramsdale in goal, and Alanga on the wing. There's 7.
Okay, let's go one by one. Ramsdale in goal. Does that make any difference to you? Really?
No.
You want to argue over that?
Prefer.
Okay, there you go.
Ramsey or Pope,
so now we're starting off on the right foot. There, so it's irrelevant. So stop counting the goalkeeper in the conversation.
I'm saying just
so you sound right. So it's not how many changes they say.
Brand
6
new players who haven't played together, no game time together.
Wouldn't have been training together all season? They know each other.
Yeah. Come on, man. Brand new players that don't play together. Come on, man.
Who's been training, for example, with Pope?
Oh wait, man, this is knackering.
The back 4.
And
but anyway,
what are you on about, man?
Forget that. Come on, you're going to go through them one by one.
Okay, there you go. You're trying to argue that. Okay, so now the back 4. Did they say Chow out? Is that what they said?
No, they kept Chow in.
Okay, so that's actually so we in agreement there. We're in agreement, and now Kraft right back. Ooh, okay.
Kraft
so let me see.
instead of Tino.
Okay, we can come back to that. I might give you something there. But as far as the left center back, who they want to put?
Botman for Shea.
Okay, that should be. I mean, what's the drop with there?
I don't know.
You trying to argue that?
With that? Yeah,
okay, so far you ain't got a problem. On the left back position, they want.
Well, only because we're putting Byrne at left back instead of Hull.
So who do they want? I'm talking today is Boki actually. So
Boki wants Byrne at left back.
Oh no way, Boki, you want that, man? How way, man?
The reason is you've got to remember at the weekend, Tino and Hall were both back from long-term injuries. And this is a game within 72 hours. I'm just worried that them 2 lads get injured and they can't play 3 games in 7 days. So I think you've got to prioritise Everton over this game. So I completely disagree with what you prioritise. We'll win.
To be fair, the wing backs is a big topic of discussion. What if you play with one and not the other, at least to start? I mean, who is more ready to play? Is it Tino? Is it Hall?
I think Hall is the
Hall, I would think.
more ready one.
Hall was much better than Tino, I think. And I
like
Tino.
Which is the bigger issue, because we haven't got a replacement for Tino, but we've got Byrne who can play on the left.
Yeah,
so even Tino who can play on the left.
And you could get away. You could get away with Kraft for now.
We'll have to rest one at least. We'll have to rest one of them.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah. So I would rest Tino, and then you get on to have Hall, and then you have a proper left back. That means you would have to bench.
Yeah,
Byrne.
I'll rest Tino, and I'll rest Chow. I'll play Shaw with Botman.
No, stop playing, man. Stop playing. I don't know about
Shaw,
that.
Botman, Byrne.
I'll just sit back.
I mean, to be honest,
if Hall is playing, then who's going to play on the right?
It's who?
Kraft.
Well, Kraft,
have to go on the right of Tino.
But I mean, just take Tino out and you put Lewis Hall.
Eddie plays unless Eddie plays Chow on the right, because he did that against West Ham. And he was actually quite good when he played there, but no. More injury chances.
If Hall's fit, then play him at left back.
Play.
Well, I think I would definitely play. I would definitely put Lewis Hall on the left, and then bench Tino, put Kraft there. I mean, and try that out at least to begin with. Give one of those guys, kind of a what do you call it? One of those guys a rest, and the other one not, I guess, so much. But then you got five days to rest, man. I mean, it's not really the end of the world. You got literally the most days you can get. So, and in the midfield, who they want?
They
Come on,
want
man.
Bruno, Miley, and Ramsey.
And take well, Ramsey is not a big deal because Joe actually.
I agree with that.
I want that as well. I want that.
I really don't think that Tonali won't play. I don't think Eddie Howe will do that. I think up front you guys have no. Oh no, you do want to rotate.
We can't have so many. We can't have so many players all playing at the same time and then playing again against Everton. Otherwise, what happened a few years ago with Everton, Spurs, and Milan will happen again, and it's just going to accumulate. So it will happen that one. Are we playing a midweek one next week as well? So are we got a midweek game after Everton? What's that one?
Yeah, Fulham.
We can't. So when do we play Spurs? In the cup?
Just double check.
I mean, in the league.
No, we already played them in the cup.
No.
So we had to.
So
we play Fulham. We play
Fulham.
Yeah, we play Fulham.
Jeez.
Hey, by the way, Chow can play right back. That's a good shout by Aaron Kent. Chow can play right back.
But I want Chow. I think it's one of the ones that
So not only are you changing, but you're changing multiple positions to occupy one when Chow is our best central defender.
But what if Tino is not fit? It's not ready to play. What are you going to do?
Well, then you've got to pay Kraft. If he's not ready to play.
That's partly what's going to happen. You know Eddie Howe, man. Come on. He's not going to. It's 2 days. I mean, you're talking about Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, that's 2 days of rest. It's not going to happen when.
Sorry, it's not. After Everton, we've got Tottenham on Tuesday. Everton, we've got Tottenham on Tuesday.
So playing Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, and then the following Saturday. So
and then the following Saturday, Burnley at home.
So 10 days, 4 games.
I mean, to be honest, you could play.
I'm worried. I'm worried about. You know who I'm worried about the most? Walter Mardy. We have got no one else.
Yeah.
100%.
But to be fair, he seems to be very strong at the moment. It doesn't seem like he's getting any.
One dirty tackle, that everything's done. So you never know.
Yeah.
Bruno as well. I worry about Bruno because I know, like, touch wood, nothing's happened to him. But
he's
4
indestructible,
games
man.
In 10 days.
Yeah, but again, I don't think we're taking it into consideration.
Play Joe Linton. Don't play Bruno. Play Joe Linton. Put him as a 10. Play him as a 10. He used to be a 9.
As a 10?
Play him as a 10.
Oh,
So you're going with J7 million Ramsey.
Anyway. Honestly, I'll play Alex Murphy tomorrow on the left. I'll just shuffle the team.
Okay, I think we got
Marseille, Everton, Fulham. Spurs in 10 days.
We've gotten carried away.
Marseille playing, not Cox Lodge Club.
So, Win, can I ask you a quick question? Which games would you use the rest players?
Yeah, who would you rotate?
Well, we've got Burnley coming up.
What the heck is that got to do with anything, man?
If we beat Marseille,
but no, you going ifs and bits, man.
Yeah. No, I'm asking you now.
But that's why this is the most important, because if we beat them...
Marseille game result is, so don't do if what's and maybes. At the minute, who would you choose? Which games would you pinpoint as ones where we can rotate? Because you're saying this one we can't, you're saying Everton we can't.
I'm saying Everton we can.
So you would rotate
Everton-
in the Premier
well,
League when we're 15th.
Yes.
When guess what? Everton played
Unreal.
for about
That is
70.
unreal. We've
Everton
got
played
to
for about
start playing in the
75
league.
minutes.
Yeah, we've got 21 games to do that.
You
We're
cannot
playing
look at
Everton
it like
away.
that.
Say again, Roy?
Yeah. We're playing Everton away,
Yeah,
and our away form is absolutely atrocious.
correct.
Everton just beat Man U away with 10 men for
Correct.
about what? So let me check how many minutes. 75 minutes or something.
It was more. It's sent off in 12 minutes.
13. So add all the extra. So it's almost 80 odd minutes. 10 men, Old Trafford.
So they're going to be
and they beat Man
knackered.
U.
No, but
because they haven't played on Saturday. This is their game. So they've got another day rest. Plus, they haven't played 3 days ago. And they're playing it at home against one of the worst away teams this season, which is us. And then you're going to rest play. So we might as well just,
So what do you got to
might as well
lose?
not turn up.
There you go. What you got to
might
lose?
as well not turn up.
We're Premier
No,
League
that's why-
status.
You might as well you might as well not turn up against Marseille if you're going to play that team.
I'm not bothered about Marseille because
Well, I am.
we are 90. No, because we are 90% now. As we are, we might even lose the next 4 games and qualify. We can lose the next 4 games and qualify to that playoff bit. So you just need to be in the top 24. So you can lose them.
No,
I think
you
you
can't.
need 11 to guarantee.
You need 11.
Well, do you want to go in the
exactly.
top 8? Do you want to be in the top 8?
I want to be in the top 8, yeah.
Well, to be in the top 8, we need about 16 to 17 points. So we'll need to win.
We need to win. We
3
need to
games.
beat Leverkusen, Marseille, and then we're going to afford to lose against PSV, and then we're going to afford to lose against PSG.
Why do you keep
15
talking
points.
about we're
15 points is not enough.
But why do you keep talking
15
about
will
we're
not
losing
be enough.
games?
9 points is enough. 18 is enough.
Yeah, 18 we need. Yeah, we need to win 3. We're playing
Yeah,
PSG next. Well, the last game, forget the last one because you're not going to win that one. So we've got 3 games.
Right?
So we
we've
must
got
win those 3.
PSV, Leverkusen, and Marseille.
let me
All winnable. Eminently winnable.
yeah, well,
all
everything
winnable,
is so.
but
So
then-
listen, Brentford was winnable. A lot of the teams that we played this season were winnable. We lost them. So that's out the window. Again, we beat City in an incredible way this weekend. Doesn't mean nothing until you keep doing it and keep performing good. Stop being blindsided, but
And
a great performance over the weekend.
The way you keep on doing it is by winning the game that's in front of you. And the game that's in front of us is Marseille tomorrow night.
But you've just sat there and said we can lose this game, we can lose that game. Win. What fan sits and does that? You never think we're going to lose a game. You want to win every game we can.
Well, that's no, hold on.
Obviously.
That's the hope. That's the hope. But I mean, you
That's the
can't
hope.
say
No,
a
but-
lot of people. No, but a lot of people say that we're going to lose against Man City. So it's not, and that might be looking at reality as well. Nobody and their mama thought that we were going to beat Man City the way we did.
What
So-
I'm saying
Excuse
is-
me, who had 2-1 in the forecast?
Well, you've got Newcastle to win.
Yeah,
every
because you
single
happy
game,
club,
man.
so you're eventually going to get it right. You always say
Every
we
game
win.
is right.
Every
Every game's a win.
saying knackered clocks right twice a day.
There you go,
Yeah.
baby. There you go. Hey, that's a good one. But again, win. I didn't catch your answer because I'm paying attention at the group chat here. People going off on it. And so come on, man. Let that crap go and be civil. But who did you want to rotate and who didn't you want to rotate?
I would bring Ramsey in for J7,
And
and I would
Agreed.
probably rest Hall. I would play. I don't think we can rest both of them. I would actually start them both, and hopefully get a lead and take them off at half time.
Nah, that's gonna shut. No one takes 2 fullbacks out in the same game. I don't think I've ever seen that happen in 40 years of watching football. A coach comes and takes 2 fullbacks out at half time.
Yeah, but have you ever seen anybody in our situation where we'll play crap without them?
I would go with Burn on the left, or otherwise Burn in the centre, and bring Alex Murphy or somebody to go on the left.
I just think
Or
that's
go three at the back.
rigorous.
Go three at the back. Just go three centre backs.
That's what Gary said. 3 at the back with wing backs.
Yeah, and then
But he was still talking about playing Hall on the left.
Yeah,
Murphy can do a job at right wing back.
So play three at the back, and then play Hall on the left. Rest Dino, and Murphy can go to the right side. That's fixed it. Done. That's stronger defensively.
I mean, there's even a chance that even though Trips had a nightmare at Everton last season, there's even a chance Trips could be back for Saturday, in which case Tino then just goes to the left back.
I can't believe you're throwing away the Premier League win. You're basically saying...
I'm saying we've got plenty time to...
I'm saying I can't get it. So you're saying you'd rather lose against Everton than rotate tomorrow?
Yeah.
That is
wait. Are you talking about rotate? He said rotate. I thought he said lose, actually. You didn't say lose, right? Lose Everton.
No, he did say lose Everton.
If I was picking...
You say you'd rather lose Everton than tomorrow.
If I'm going to win one and lose one, I want to win tomorrow and lose against Everton.
To be fair, Chris, that wasn't the question I asked. I says, would you rather rotate tomorrow or lose against Everton? He says lose against Everton. That's disgusting.
Yeah, he did.
I'd rather rotate against Everton than rotate tomorrow.
No, but you talk about losing. That's what you talked about. So you gotta. There you go, man. You gotta go in because you just said something that is extremely inflammatory for any Newcastle United fan.
If I'm picking a game to win out of the two, Marseille for me is more important than Everton.
We don't need points against Marseille, man. We need points against Everton in the league again. This guy believes that you beat Man City. That meant that we got 20 points already instead of 3. We got 20 points again. No, we are knackered in the Premier League win.
We're not knackered in the Premier League. We're 5 points off top 4.
And how many of relegation? Stop using the same numpty excuse.
8 points next week.
Oh, wait, man. You just can't. I can't
No, because to use Borky's own argument, are you saying that team you're putting out against Marseille couldn't win against Everton?
He didn't say lose. He said afford to lose. There's a difference. Wazza, you better call right now and explain this guy's case because he is knackered. 01919168864.
Hang on.
Have a call.
Borky is saying that team we put out can beat Marseille. Are you saying it couldn't beat Everton?
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying whatever. I'm saying whatever team we put out, because we've got this super duper squad that you've said, super smashing great, it can beat anybody. So I'm quite happy with Eddie using the squad of players. You're the one that's scared to rotate.
I want to beat Marseille.
But that's a personal choice. That's a personal choice. Listen, that's a personal choice.
We did the poll this afternoon, and everybody, 75 to 25, it was.
And you got beaten like a drum.
They would rather beat Everton than beat Marseille.
That's right. You got beaten like a drum.
75 to 25, not a problem. I would rather beat Marseille.
Yeah, listen, that's a personal choice. That just means you're just wrong. That's it. So that's no.
Doesn't make us wrong at all.
Yeah, it does make you wrong. The vast majority of fans saying that we are knackered in the Premier League. We need points, and you want to waste it. And again, to your point, to answer your question, because you're saying that same team that some people would like to play tomorrow should be able to beat Everton. The fact of the matter is that
I think Everton.
You absolutely best squad.
Man U at Old Trafford 1-0 with 10 men for 78 minutes are easier to beat than Marseille.
But when can I just say?
No, I think Marseille
I want to win both games.
I don't want to win both games, of course.
You're saying choose one or the other. I want to win both. I want
to win both as well, but tomorrow is the most important. So you play your best team tomorrow.
No, that's the thing. Tomorrow's not the more important.
Dempsey, I don't want to throw the Premier League.
You did. If you choose which
one
you want.
Listen, man, it's just 3 points.
Oh, it's just 3 points.
3 points.
Are you listening to what you're saying, man? It's just 3 points.
We're not going to finish in the top 8 in the Champions League. I'm telling you now. I'm looking at the teams around us and their fixtures, and we are not going to finish above them. And two of the teams below us are
who's
Real
going to
Madrid
stop
and
us?
Liverpool. Who?
Come on,
Well,
wait.
PSG is
Oh
gonna
my
beat
God,
us.
this guy, man.
PSG is going to beat us. That's
If we get 18 points, who's going to get more than 18 points?
We're a team.
First of all, we got to get the 18 points.
Real Madrid, Liverpool,
Win a team
Oh,
like Newcastle.
Liverpool,
Arsenal.
they're in great form.
Galatasaray, Spurs, Barcelona, Chelsea.
Yeah. When was
All
when
of
was the
those
last
teams
time
are
a team
below
like
us.
Newcastle won the Champions League?
When was the last time?
A team like Newcastle won the Champions League.
A team like Newcastle.
Red Star.
Porto.
Five.
No, that is just true. A team like Newcastle. Porto would be the only one.
Porto.
And that
Marseille.
happened when Mighty Win. That happened when Mighty Win had hair. So
Marseille.
Marseille.
Albeit
Marseille.
by default.
So that doesn't count.
Red
Does it?
Star
What the hell
Belgrade.
you talking about, man? Red Star, man. When you were a teenager, man. How away that lasts, man.
That was
You are
92.
knackered, man.
That Marseille
Was
then
that-
had
was that
Bernard
technically the
Tapie and he
Champions League?
spent millions on that team.
Look, man, it's staggering to say the least. Tony says, win, that's just 3 points, could make it 8 points of Champions League places. Again, man, what's happened to this guy that, the Premier League, whatever, all those excuses that you bring up when we lose to justify Eddie Howe's job, what happened to all of that nonsense? Now you're saying that beating Everton is easier than Marseille, which I agree to you, by the way. I agree with you. That's why I think it's a must win. Either way, we've proven to be inept at winning away in the Premier League. Therefore, I would choose to have the absolute best players we can possibly have to guarantee those 3 points, almost guarantee those 3 points. We would never know it, to be honest. But yeah, I would choose that. Of course, I would choose to play Harvey Barnes and the whole lot against Everton, so we can at least have the best chances of getting the 3 points. Tomorrow, I think that a rotated team can still do a job like we did against Spurs, and it's not throwing the game. I agree with you because you're mute right now. He ain't got a word to say, so I'm gonna give you time to breathe.
I have stated my case.
But it ain't working.
I prioritize tomorrow's game more than I prioritize Everton.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to find. That's why right now the three of us are trying to figure out, if you belong on where side or
the reason you want to get points in the league is to qualify for the Champions League. We're in the Champions League.
Yeah, but you're not. It's not a game. Listen, if tomorrow was a quarterfinal game, I would walk with you the whole way, but it's not. Or even the
but
round of
there's a
16.
chance we don't get to the quarterfinal game if we don't win tomorrow.
Nah,
come on, man.
we're gonna be we're 90% in the playoffs.
Do you know what the thing is? We're going to have this same argument in a couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
okay. So in the playoffs, because we haven't finished in the top 8, we end up playing Real Madrid
2 games.
in the round of 16.
Well, we can beat them because we're not
No, we're not, because Real Madrid are not in there. They're not in the round 16.
Listen, we play Real Madrid.
They're not going to play us in the playoff because they're going to qualify automatically.
Well, that's what they said about PSG and Man City last year, but they didn't.
PSG is not Real Madrid, man. Get over.
You know why?
They beat them.
No. Yeah, but
in the Champions League last year, they won it.
Win. Come on, man.
They went through the whole thing playing reserves and stuff, and Man City couldn't beat anyone.
Listen,
this year, look where they are now. Bayern and Man City and Arsenal, I think they're all on 12 points. Was it?
Look,
Yeah,
I know it's
points.
Listen, I know it's your opinion. We respect your opinion. We're just trying to figure out whether you belong on Tyne side or where side. We know which one you belong to. So that's all we're trying to figure out here. Ian Fleming says, we got a super chat in for me, and it hasn't come in here, but I see it. There we go. The most important game for us is the next game, which is Marseille. Then it will be Everton. After that is the most important one. So he's going on the rule that the most important game is the next one, which, again, if we were a regular team, then I would agree with you. But we are an inept team for the most part of this whole season. Therefore, I'm scared to even say this team should be able to compete twice a week. I'm scared to say that because the moment we put any type of standards, then boom, we just go flying down, like an airplane without engines. I mean, it is how it's been working, unfortunately, this season. And again, I would also agree with Ian Fleming and the lot if we had a regular, normal season to the standards of Newcastle United. But we haven't. We absolutely are in dire need of air, basically, which would be the 3 points against Everton. But, if we had a regular season, we wouldn't need probably to get 3 points at Everton. A point would have done nice. But we haven't. We have had a bad season so far. Therefore, we need points. Almost guarantee. Somebody needs to guarantee us points almost at this point in the Premier League. So that's kind of where the cookie crumb. Win is knackered. We're gonna give him a couple minutes to.
Why do you need points in the Premier League?
You're going in circles, man. You're going in circles, man.
We're taking you back there. Points in the Premier League so that you can qualify for the Champions League. We're in the Champions League, and now you didn't want to put all your resources into it.
When we need points in the Premier League at the minute to get away from the bottom three.
Shut up, man. We're going nowhere near the bottom three.
We're 15th. You say you looked at the league.
Oh, well, yeah.
Have you looked at the league?
So when you have to go in what happens if we finish? Okay, we'll finish in the top 8 in this one. We go to the round of 16, Champions League. We get knocked out.
Where we then play one of the weaker teams.
No, you don't.
Who've had to qualify, having played 2 games more.
No, that's not how it works. No, that's not how it works. You've got top 8, and they sit there. No, top 8 sit there and wait, and then you get from the teams from 9 to 24. They play each other.
That's
and
right.
Get 18.
So they've got to play another 2 games. Well, we are getting rested.
Yeah. No, we're not getting rested because we've got league games and we've got FA Cup games and
but we would have all of that and another 2 Champions League games as well.
Okay, who won it last year? PSG. They came from the bottom bit.
Yeah, are you comparing us with PSG now?
No, who was the top one? Liverpool. They were flying. Boom, out. It means nothing. But suddenly we might be 12th or 13th in the Premier League, nowhere near Europe for the season after.
I tell you what it does mean. It means another £10 million in the bank and another, it would be 5 million from the 2 matches.
No, but when we finish 12th or 13th, you've lost, it's almost 3 million quid a spot in the Premier League. So between 3rd and 13th, that's 10 spots. That's 30, 40 million.
But I don't believe we will lose that in the Premier League. I think there's plenty time to get to Premier League points. We're in the Champions League right now. It needs prioritising.
We're in the Premier League right now.
For me, tomorrow, if I was Eddie, I'm going to give a chance to 5 or 6 players and go to them and say, look, you need to earn your spot here. Go on. Gordon, Elanga, Ramsey, Miley, all start. That's what I'll do tomorrow.
And do you think that's fair on them, asking them to perform in a team that's full of players who haven't played together before?
Yeah, because he's not asking a fat bastard like me to go on the pitch. He's asking a professional who's getting like 90,000 a week. Not me.
And these are the best players. These are the best players we've ever had, Win. So you're saying that
we spend money on this
games.
So if he goes to Elanga and say, I paid 45
you
million.
don't shove all of your bench players on the pitch at the same time or anywhere near all of them.
Don't look at them as bench players. Look at it as a squad of players. You've got to stop thinking of them being bench players. You don't have players that should be on the bench.
I'll put it a different way. You put your best players.
You have players that should be ready to play, and you can't play your best players every game.
You can't shove them all on wholesale.
Every game.
For me, tomorrow, if Eddie does that and puts on the kids, I'm not going to say kids.
Kid.
Fringe. Few fringe ones. Elanga, fringe, 55 million. Ramsey, 45 million. Gordon, if he's fit. Anyway, so if he plays those, and let's say he's done like 5 or 6 changes, and you lose. I'm not going to slag him off. Because I know he's thinking about Everton, which is the big picture, Premier League, where we need to be and compete. No one's going to watch that game tomorrow, internationally, because there's other games on TV. People watching Real Madrid and Barca and Bayern Munich. No one is going to be watching ours. But everyone will watch Newcastle play Everton the week after. And then we don't want that same thing that happened that season when we played Everton, Spurs and Milan, and our season just went downhill from there. Not resting players. And then complaining. And he had Hall and a few players there. He wouldn't try them. He wouldn't do anything. Same 11, bang, bang, bang. And then complaining afterwards about congested. Him and Klopp was doing that as well. Congested season, whatever. So what's the point? Just make football a team of 11 players and just play on. And there's no need for reserves and a squad of 25 players. 25 we've got. We've got 11 and 11 and about 10 keepers we've got as well.
Because, by the way, if you're trying to make it forward, like Win wants us to win, I think we all do. Then there is no situation to rotate at all, because you get farther in the Champions League, you got to play the best team. You can't rotate, because if you rotate, and I do agree, you're gonna have to blame Eddie Howe. You got to play the best players. The same thing for the Carabao Cup. Even though it's a minor, tournament, you're still gonna have to play the best players no matter what. If you get to semifinals or final, so the rotation chances and options are going out the window if you don't start doing it now. That's also something to think about.
But Chris, if you look at the top class managers, they manage that. The top class manager, the elite managers can change a team, and you don't really see much of it. You don't think anything of it. With us, I think the big problem is because Eddie's been so reluctant to rotate this team. When he rotates a couple of players now, Win gets the shakes because he's worried the hell that we're going to lose. You've got to have over a season like this. You've got to be willing to use the players, and it's not a case that you're dropping your best players. It's a case that you're keeping the squad fresh and you're keeping the team fresh.
Yeah, otherwise, you know what might happen.
All I'm saying is, tomorrow's game is the most important as far as I'm concerned. You can disagree with that if you want. That's what I think.
Even with that,
I would play my best team.
Yeah.
But who's to say what the best team is, Win?
Yeah, not
who's
us.
to say what the best team is?
Yep. I mean,
I think you probably know what your best team is. I know what my best team is.
We would differ.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're talking about playing your best team. We would differ. You would hope Eddie and his coaching staff would have differences over who they would play as the best team. This is the whole point. You talk about what best.
I bet we'd all have 8 of them in.
It's a squad game. You've got.
I bet we'd all have 8 of them in.
Yeah, well, probably.
Right, so rotate 3, not 6 or 7.
You're rotating the You're rotating the players that always get rotated. In which case, under Eddie, you've got to rotate your best players as well.
Yeah, one at a time.
Yeah,
so what would your team be?
I'm just not having,
No. What would your
just because you can?
What would your team be tomorrow? In which case,
I'd play more or less the same team that played City.
So exactly the same team as City.
Yeah.
So we've got two fullbacks that have just came back from injury. You'd play them.
Dan Burn not playing.
No, I wouldn't play Dan Burn. I thought Shane Chow did great.
Yeah, but if somebody gets injured, and then we see Dan Burn against Everton. Yeah. And then we're back to the same.
I didn't mind Dan Burn coming in.
I'd rather.
To replace one player out of those 11.
First team on the sheet for me tomorrow will be Dan Burn.
Yeah.
And Elanga, second one for me. Those two. And if Gordon's fit, he's in. Straight away, those 3. Ramsey,
yeah.
Yep, straight in.
Ramsey without a doubt.
Yeah, I'll play that.
You said you wouldn't change from the City game?
I'm saying I would. I've already said I'd play Ramsey.
Well, no, you just sat there and said I wouldn't change a player from the City game.
Well,
you're saying bring
that would be the one change I would make. And if I was picking another change, it would be Ramsdale for Pope.
I'm not bothered about Pope Ramsdale, so that's relevant.
Exactly.
I would rest Chow, and I would rest Tino, 100%. That was my call. I'll rest Tonali, and I'll rest Murphy. Funny enough, now he's our best winger, and I'll rest Barnes. So those are the ones I'll rest. Basically, those are the ones we need fully fit, 100% on Saturday against Everton. And we can still win the game tomorrow without them, because Marseille got loads of injuries. They've only got 3 points and they're a bit far from qualifying. And I think tomorrow Marseille's gonna rest a few players as well.
I think they'll be all out tomorrow to win it, because it's the last chance saloon for them.
But when we're
if they get beat tomorrow, that's them done.
But when we're Newcastle, we shouldn't worry about them. We should just go into the game knowing that.
I don't worry about them playing with my strongest team.
But again, you're going down the route that the other players can't play as well. That's rubbish. We've got good players. Stop putting more players down.
Yeah. You're knackering what players, man.
I'm not doing anything of the sort. I'm just saying you don't put them all in together.
I spoke to you in Jordan, so you understood a little bit. You're knackering what players?
I'm pessimistic.
Well, we already knew that, but you know.
But you got Tino, who hasn't played football for 2 months, and he played on Saturday, and he's going to get shoved in France tomorrow.
In France?
And then gets injured, and then here you go, another 3-4 months or something.
But win. Actually, listen, I the opinions can go, but at the end of the day, it's not going to happen. The Lewis Hall and Tino are not going to play tomorrow. We know that. So in this particular case, we would have. In this particular case, we kind of agree with him, but based on Eddie Howe's, the way he is, they're not playing tomorrow, man. You know that. The only time that he's done something like that shocking has been when Botman came back. He actually played him. The following next few days, he got played, and we were all shocked. And we were all shocked that he did that when he came back from injury. So, and that's the only time, he's not going to win. Come on, man. Come to the light, man. Listen, your opinion, that's fine. Your opinion.
I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility at all that Tino and Hall play tomorrow.
I've kept really quiet, but I'll tell you something. He went down in my estimation when he said that.
Yeah, you're not
going to ask you a question. If we do rotate and lose, I'll sit here now and say I won't call Eddie Howe out for that. So if we rotate and we'll lose the game, I will not call him out for it. If we don't rotate and a player gets injured, or we don't rotate and we'll lose, will you call him out in which case?
Will I call him out if we don't rotate and lose?
No, if we don't rotate, so we'll play our best team. Couple of players get injured and we'll lose. Will you call him out and say that's not good enough because we've played our best team?
Yeah, but why would I call him out just because we got beat?
Yeah.
And players got.
I'm saying we've got a lot more chance of getting beat playing with a load of changes than what. And I want us to have our best chance of winning. But I do agree.
I do agree with you if you're talking about a load of changes. But I mean, some of the changes you're just putting them in the conversation so you can sound right. But Ramsdale doesn't count. Botman doesn't count. And who else did we say that doesn't count? Joe Linton coming out. That's 3 changes right there that are really irrelevant. If anything, some make us better, like Ramsey or instead of Joe Linton. So you're just trying to sound right. But there's not really that many changes. I wouldn't change Tonali for anything. So with all due respect to all involved, you're knackered if you want Tonali out for Miley, including Boki and Roy.
No, I just want him rested.
I just
don't
want him
want him
to have a
out.
rest. He's played international football as well.
Well, you could have a point there, but
and he looked really. He got kicked as well in that game.
But if you tell, for example, Ilanga, Roy, if you tell Ilanga, listen, mate, run, and when you make it to a certain part, just throw the ball in there. Do that all night. Don't even think about it. Don't even realize the Votamata is in the middle. You don't look that far. As soon as you get through, boom, cross the ball. If you tell him that, more or less, obviously, without being too dramatic.
I'm not going to tell him that.
How hard is that? Can he not replicate? Can one cross not get to Votamata? I mean, is that hard to ask someone? If you want to rotate, Mike. Sorry, Mark.
I approach it in a different way with him. Just before he comes in, you put your hand on his shoulder and say, "Look, mate, we bought you. You are supposed to be our best right winger. Prove it."
Hey.
And then that's it. That's it. Push him in.
I like that's some sexy talk.
Smack him on his ass.
And seriously, do you not think Eddie's probably already had that conversation with him?
No, because he's on the bench.
Prove that we're wangers. Because when he's been put in, he ain't done it.
Eddie Howe all day, every day.
No. We all know. Look, we can't kid each other here. We all know Eddie's got his favourites. Because Pope...
You're out your mind, man.
No language.
No.
Pope, all the Pope mistakes he's done, Ramsey's still on the bench. And we all know. And Ramsey has good games, doesn't get a game.
Love it.
Dan Burn, atrocious. And apparently Hall about three games ago.
Atrocious, he said.
Yep. And then he still plays him on the left.
No, but he said Burn has been atrocious. He said Burn has been atrocious.
Then if you remember the West Ham game, Kraft had a bad first half. Straight away took him off. And then took Watermadi off and Gordon and stuff. It wasn't their fault. It was the fault of the numpties at the back.
To be honest, to Win is knackered, man. He is absolutely.
Listen, I am where I am.
Believe me, together we can change history.
I'll stand on that hill. You know, tomorrow is a more important game than Everton is.
Roy, I don't know if you heard my stat about Dan Burn, but I'll repeat it again. 100% win rate this season when he hasn't been in the team or the squad.
Yeah, there you go.
At left back.
No.
And
in any game.
Any game,
we've got a 100% win rate when Dan Burn hasn't played.
There you go.
Do you want to say this stats on Tonali?
I think it's the same with Ramsey. Every game Ramsey played, we've won. Because he's only played League Cup games. And we've won them.
And your
but
point
then he goes
is...
back on the bench. And then Pope lost us the game against Arsenal. Lost us the game against West Ham. Brighton, I can't blame it. I can't blame him.
Oh wait, we're gonna give. Listen, we're gonna give a Win a break so he can gather himself, take his aspirin, and he's tired. He's tired.
Can't be bothered with all this YouTube politics, to be honest.
He's knackered.
Elsa's are saying, release Borky. We need to rest players.
Oh, really? I'm not gonna go in jail, so we got really. That is got to be a first that Helsasar would release Boki from jail. That is the first one. By the way, it is man, time's going by so quick, man. So quick. It is 10:42 at night in the UK, ladies and gents. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel.
You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army. Live daily on the website, on YouTube, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army.
The voice of the Town Army, indeed.
Of the Town Army. Listen,
Eddie Howe is God, Dan Burn is Jesus, and Win is the Archbishop of Canterbury.
And there you go.
Wynn's in jail.
Wynn is a numpty, man. Listen, you're a bishop and you're in jail. You know what bishops go in jail for?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Keep your hands to yourself.
Or don't go to jail.
When you go, you've been seen. If Wynn has been seen next to a park doing this, you better run. You better run, ladies and gentlemen. You better run. Let me go to some star comments because a lot of people, man, it's loaded with comments. So let's go one by one. Paul Morris says, I can just see it now. BDB hitting the back of the net just to quiet some fans down again. He's only done it once or so often, by the way. So, this notion that he is a goal scorer all of a sudden. But listen,
he's one of the worst headers of the ball for his height.
He is, and to be honest, he's not great. He's not great. But he's had some memorable moments.
Liverpool and PSG.
But that's the point. He's not. He's got two. If you actually rationalize that, it's 2 goals out of how many attempts, man? But he's got some excellent, memorable goals for Newcastle United. That's bar none.
100%. The one thing I would say to you, watch him. He can't jump. He can't.
He can't.
Well,
we've allowed a few goals. We've allowed a few goals because he couldn't jump.
He's only won something like 60% of the.
The percentage is not there, but as Mighty Win would argue, that small 10% when he connects has gone in there and scored proper goals for the team. There you go.
Yeah.
Still Bad Dad says from Connor, Naif Garrett has been ruled out with a persistent pubalgia issue, and Facundo Medina, Argentinian player, has suffered a fresh ankle relapse. So there you go. As far as injury is concerned, maybe I don't know. They were going off about in privately in the group chat, so I'm not sure what's true, what isn't true. But we always got to verify truth. By the way, we always got to verify before we put fake news out there. So there you go. Ashington, what do you think of Everton? Red? I don't know what happened. What even happened between Everton and Man United? Didn't even know they were playing. To be honest, that's how poor it's been. But apparently Everton, you better take that out before we get knackered. So you better take that out before we get knackered, man.
He can't jump. He can't jump.
He didn't jump. He didn't jump.
He didn't jump. McAllister next to him, man. I'll go ahead of McAllister.
He didn't.
That's a bit of a leap.
He didn't jump. Wait, take that out seriously. We're gonna be knackered with that. Anyway, so there you go. All right. So why says there's a well-known football saying you don't change a winning team. There you go. That's an old saying though. By the way, that's why it's old. You should stay there. But listen, it's your opinion. Michael Smithers says that Tonali and Bruno Ramsey midfield with Miley coming on toward the end. If we are up, says Michael. Fair opinion as well.
No, yeah. I don't know why we're resting Joe Linton. I'll play Joe Linton. If I'm going to rest someone, it'll be Tonali.
Well, you would assume that.
I'm not bothered.
Well, exactly, because you would assume that the Everton it would be more important. So you kind of don't want to play. I don't think I want to play Joe Linton for that Everton game. I want Ramsey, and Ramsey hasn't been playing that many games. So maybe he could play, now and then Saturday. Is it Saturday?
Yeah,
so it's not really.
If you don't keep playing him, what's going to happen to Ramsey? He's going to turn into Willock.
Yeah,
we'll have 2 Willocks in the team.
Well, that could be. And Willock came in before he even did.
He's a much more talented player than Willock, and much better. You shove him on the bench like this, he's going to be gone.
But even Willock played before.
Willock played against Spurs.
Before against Man City. He came in before even Ramsey was started.
They both did.
The question is, why did
they both came on.
Yeah. For him?
I think Willock is more defensive. So
you think so?
I don't think so. I
think he's got he couldn't tackle a race bud.
I don't know. Well, that's Eddie anyway. But I think. I don't know. So maybe he's gone down the packing order. So he's.
Well, I think he's on his way out.
We let Longstaff go, and then you bring this guy. Waste some money.
Yeah, let's go to more comments here. Dempsey, Win reckons tomorrow is the most important game of the season. Yeah, that's saying that. of the seat. Man, stop talking, man. You need a mute button. Sir.
Best game of the season.
Till the next one.
14th of December.
Ashington, I won't be convinced till we have a good run of games against lower teams and away teams. Win games. We usually turn up for big games. It's the bottom teams we're concerned about. I'm concerned about, says Ashington. Tony says it was a semi-final win. That's probably had a huge impact on atmosphere.
I think he's on about the Marseille game.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, well, Drogba.
We did hear Drogba.
2004, I think.
Paul Morris, heavens above. If Eddie plays it safe and plays strongest 11, what I'm not sure what the point was there.
He's saying it would be a calamity
if he plays
a disaster.
Oh, okay.
But he's saying it sarcastically, I think.
Sarcastically, yeah. So he's because he's a happy clapper, so he'd probably go against in your favor. Flynn says Chris looking smart tonight. I just came from work, man. Big Nick fan, agreed, Dempsey, in-game rotation, not messing with the starting 11 too much, says Big Nick fan.
Not saying too much, but he's had that shirt on since 5 o'clock this morning.
Well, 5 o'clock is my morning, and I went to work and came back. That's how committed I am to the channel. I wake up so early to get on here and then come right to here. So there you go.
It'll be stinking.
8 days in a row he had that Eddie Howe top on the channel.
Oh my God, that shirt stuck to his skin.
That's just for an hour at a time.
No,
we don't know that. We don't know that.
We've all seen him out round town in it, Chris. It's
way, man.
I'll tell you what, you've never seen me round town in that shirt.
Hey, let me tell you something.
For the very simple reason, it hasn't got a pocket. And I won't wear a shirt without a pocket because I need a pocket for my phone.
Eddie Howe's wife called and said, "Just tone it down. It's a little bit too much, man. You're being obsessive." But there you go. Big Nick says, "Agree, Dempsey." Oh, we read that one. Paul Wright, that's poor. That's really poor from Win. There you go. We play.
Yes, Sandro.
There you go.
Sandro says, "I don't want to play tomorrow."
You need Tim on your soundboard.
That's poor. That's really poor from him.
There you go. Tony, question. Are people forgetting how bad we were before Tino and Hull came back? Both I agree that Everton is less relevant. You agree that Everton is less relevant. We need points in both leagues. Yeah, but where do you need more? If you have to rotate, which one do you need more points to where you put the best players?
Everton.
Okay. I mean, it's
both. We can win both games.
You can win both games with lesser play. Exactly. I do agree with that to a certain extent. It says our first choice 11 were losing games. So now if you want to include 6th, 2nd, or 3rd choice players and expect to win can be a knob, but not tonight. But the thing is though that in Champions League we haven't been bad. We probably play like 4 or 5 games, but
I've got a question for Wayne. Just thought about it now. Let's say we make the playoffs. Yeah, let's say we lose tomorrow, but we still make the playoffs in the Champions League. And then we may win or lose it. It doesn't matter, but we're in the top 16 or playoffs.
There you go. He's got the shirt back on.
But quick word with the wardrobe 13th? Department.
Wayne, what happens if we make the playoffs or get knocked out in the Champions League without getting Eddie sacked?
Why would get Eddie sacked?
Well, that's it. Well, what we finished 12th in the league? That'll get him sacked.
Not if we win the league and win the Not if we win the league and win the Champions League, it won't. If we win the cup and win the Champions League.
Roy, can I tell you?
No, but I'm saying.
Just tell you what Wynn's doing. Wynn staked his name on the fact that at Christmas, if we're not within 3 points of Champions League, Eddie Howe has to go. What he's doing the night and this afternoon and things is he's changing that around. I don't really care about the league now, but if we're in the Champions League and we're moving on in that,
it is
I absolutely care about the league
exactly
now.
What he's doing with him and his happy clapper brigade are beginning to move the goalposts so that they can say, no, the league doesn't matter that much. We're doing well in the Champions League, though. That's what I want.
We got distracted. Yeah.
We got to say it. There you go. He has nothing to say. Gillian says he's beat.
I stand by what I say.
Well, we know that.
By the transfer window arrives and we are not within shooting distance of the Champions League,
3
he's
points.
Got to go.
Not shooting distance, 3 points.
Yeah. He if he gets beat, says Jillian, and you'll be calling Eddie Howe's head. But
I'm not.
We
Tomorrow,
probably.
I'm not 100% not gonna.
I actually thought about that.
If he plays the same team and
You know
someone
what's crazy?
gets injured.
That's so crazy because I was driving home from work, and then I thought to myself, tapping on the steering wheel, like, what if we lose tomorrow? What would I feel like? And I didn't even feel any type of anger. And then I started thinking about how if we would lose, like, by our own mistakes or faults that shouldn't even happen to any proper footballer, then I would be upset about that. Like many times this whole season where we shoot ourselves in the foot before anything even happens. Like Barcelona, we had many chances. If we had a proper striker, he would have just pushed the ball in. But we had Gordon. That was a decision made by Eddie Howe. So I got upset about that. But if you're telling me in hindsight, just Barcelona, can you win or lose? Of course, that can happen. But it's about how you do things. If going to Marseille and you give it a good go and it just doesn't happen, I wouldn't be upset. But if you go out there and you're funny around and are a draws team, of course. I mean, who wouldn't be upset about anything like that? That is the main difference. And by the way, Craig Hope saying that Gordon fit after hip injury issue. So I guarantee it. I know who's going to play more. Gordon will play.
Yeah.
Don't even doubt about it. Now again, people will have the suspicion that that's because it's the same old Eddie Howe's buddies, the one he spends probably Christmas together with, all the little Gordon and everybody else get together. Probably Gordon has a stock in there already in the house with some coal in it. Not coal, sorry. He's probably got proper gifts. And you got Harvey Barnes. He probably has a stock in the garage with some coal in it because, he doesn't rate him much. But, all of that, it probably will have. People will have the suspicion that that's going to happen. So, therefore, the game against Everton becomes crucial to determine whether Eddie Howe has actually seen the light or he's not, basically. Because if Gordon plays again against Everton and Byrne left back and all of that same nonsense, then I mean I'm telling you, it's going to be knackering to see that. And you might see a few faces really lose it on that match reaction. So, again, it did come to a blowing end as well when Longstaff was playing instead of Tonali. But he ended up coming to
14 games, though.
It took him 14 games, exactly. It took him a long time.
Yeah, 14 games to realize. Tonali's a bit better than Longstaff. Just a bit. And so more comments here. Aaron says Everton is more important game. We need to sort our way form out and get our form up in the league. We cannot afford to drop any more points in the league. There you go. Why is it either or with you lot, says Tony? Because decision is either or. I mean, you either rotate or you don't. So it's not really much about it.
It's not either or win. It's either or. Which do you play your weaker team in?
It would be a pretty boring show if we all just took the middle ground, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, we can't have that, man. Ricky D, assuming we don't collapse if we score first again, which, that's actually still very much a worry for some.
That's a Marseille problem as well, by the way.
Yeah, well, there you go. That could be. Brent says, we lose in the quarterfinal and finish 10th because we sacrificed our season for Champions League. What does that do for us? That'd be a big upset. I don't think if Newcastle want to maintain their players and get new players, that's what I'm saying. I think without Europe, if I'm pushing it to say Champions League, then to be honest, that's just not good enough. And it might just be it for Eddie Howe. To go. And it might be it for Eddie Howe. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, because then you
completely agree.
There you go. Steve says, "Win. Would you be happy to get to the quarterfinal or of the Champions League and finish 11th? Then we lose our best players. Wake up, Pluto. Yeah, Pluto lost his spot.
I'd be happy to win the Champions League and finish 11th.
That ain't gonna happen. That just ain't gonna happen. And surprisingly enough,
or win the FA Cup and finish 11th, or win the Carabao Cup and finish 11th.
Win in all seriousness, do you think we can win the Champions League? Like, but speak honestly.
Yes.
Speak honestly. By the way,
it's a cup competition. It comes down to 2 games each round.
Win. You are absolutely wrong, man. Absolutely wrong. The fact is, Champions League winners and 11th in the league, in their respective league, or 14th or 15th, don't go together. Look up one. I don't know where Porto were at the time. Winning the Champions League, you're usually going to be first, second, or third in your respective league. You're usually one of the best teams in the world, much less your country. So those two don't go together. Newcastle United, we are not that. We are not there, man. We're not. So it's throughout history this has happened. So this just another cup you can win. It's rubbish, man.
We are that far away from being there.
Yeah, but you said we should be 9th. What are you on about?
No.
We're not league winners.
No. What I said was,
I think we're 7 players away from
unrealistic to expect us to be top 5 every season with our current budget. That's what I said.
But we're right there to win the Champions League. Is that what you're saying?
We're right there to win the Premier League. We're getting
A
closer
Premier League.
all the time.
Based on what?
We're getting closer. We're 14th in the league. We're further away.
We've played 11 games, man.
Oh, this man.
This
about 11,
we
I think
spent
9 of them were atrocious.
A whole hour and 30 minutes trying to get this guy to come to his senses, man.
I think what's happened this season, we've regressed. We are weaker than we were last year.
Massive.
Not because we are weaker. But I'll tell you what, the Newcastle 2012 will beat this Newcastle.
What?
100%.
They won in 2020.
2012, when we had Botman, Fresh, and Isaac.
2012? 2020, you mean?
2022,
2022. The season we got to the cup final and we lost. And we finished 4th.
22-23. My favourite season of all time. That was with Dan Burn at left back, by the way.
Yeah, that team was thrashed this one. It was really 3 at the back, kind of, but that team was thrashed this one.
But what Warren said, what's the point in being if you're not going to try? Who says that we're not going to try, though? Again, extremism, man. Extremism. By the way, Warren, you didn't have what it takes to call in and have your say, by the way. End of the show, anyway.
He's intimidated by me being on the show, Chris. He won't come on.
Oh, he was. Oh, Warren and Boki will clash, man. Warren and Boki will clash. But listen, we've had a long show. I tried to do a session, but it just didn't work. It didn't work. So he doesn't come to his senses. He will not come to his senses.
Sandro says he doesn't want to play tomorrow. He wants his legs fresh for Everton.
He won't come tomorrow. No.
Gonna hunt the Scouse Mackhams on next week.
Ladies and gents, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And all of you, please smash the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all the super chats there that have come in. And I appreciate it very much indeed. Tomorrow, match day. So join us. Kickoff. Well, actually, our kickoff is at 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. We got the Toon Twins getting on, having their say, their reaction. And then immediately, in the same token, you don't have to go anywhere else. Right there, you will get the build-up for the game and the live match commentary with Gary and Mighty Win. And of course,
thank you for Tony, Queenie, Big Nick,
I was trying to let people know.
Ian Fleming and Hells Hussar.
Thanks for just coming in and cutting me off when I'm just explaining to folks what we're going to do tomorrow so they can join us. But anyway, after the game, of course, in the same token, in the same place, match reaction. So join us after full time, and you can call in and have your say about anything going on in that game. There you go. And thank you to all the super chatters anyway. Thank you very much for your support. See you on the next one, folks. Away the lads.
Away the lads.